We go.
And welcome into McLean Stadium as we get ready to kick off this 2021 season. The McLean Tigers getting ready to play host to the Warriors of Adena High School in this Week 1 matchup between two Southern Ohio football powerhouses. And we're here live from McLean Field. My name is David Weeks, and I'm here with Mr. Travis Snyder. Welcome in.
I'm very excited to be here, Mr. Weeks, and get this Friday night football season kicked off with a game between McLean Tigers and the Adena Warriors.
And we're just about 24 or just under 24 minutes from getting kickoff going. We got pregame festivities taking place right now. The teams have made their way into the locker room to kind of get the last few words of wisdom from their coaches. And we are just rip-roaring and ready to go. It's a beautiful night here. Nice blue skies and just a few clouds off into the distance. Nice puffy white clouds, so it doesn't look like it's going to play anything like the opener of last year's contest, where we were on a lightning delay going into the first night and had to wait another 24 hours to be able to play. Great night this evening, high of 83 right now, and should be cooling off nicely as the night goes on, but very sunny and a little bit humid for the evening here at the stadium. So words of wisdom here from the former coach with one of these early season warm games.
Yeah, with these early games, and you'll see it at all the levels as football gets kicked off, it's that issue of cramping. With as warm as it is, there's nothing that can simulate in practice the speed and intensity of a game. So it probably won't be much of a factor here in the first half, but if it's still warm, if it's still humid out, look for teams to start cramping up, players start cramping up. And a lot of people overlook that in these early season games as an X factor. With McClain not having played at this level, and a lot of these younger players not having carried that load that they're going to be carrying tonight, we could see a lot of these the players that are in support positions stepping out on the field and expected to take big roles.
And it's not surprising that the Tigers will be tasked with having some of those players that might not be ready to go in initially taking those roles, as they are still a little bit of a young team, but they did gain some experience last year, and we'll talk about that shortly. But before we do, since we have Coach Snyder here and the mastermind behind ABC Honey, we figure ABC Honey should sponsor Coach Snyder's Buzz. So we got Snyder's Buzz for this evening. Give us some keys to the game here.
I appreciate that there, Mr. Weeks. I mean, with any football game, there's keys that you focus on as a coach, that if your players are able to fulfill these things or these ideas that you have, you put yourself in a much more apt position to win. And one of those is intensity. It's really, really hard. I mean, we haven't played in this type of atmosphere for so long. Last year with the COVID season, we had diminished roles as audience, as fan members. So this is probably the most that a lot of these kids have played in front of in 2 years or so. So that intensity, what type of intensity are they going to bring? And if the McLean Tigers come out flat and the Adena Warriors come out intense and ready to go, you will be able to see that very soon. The good news is that a football game is a long period of playing. So if a team comes out and they're flat, and they're lethargic, they're lackadaisical, that can change from half to half, both in the positive as well as the negative.
So big key there, intensity. What do we have for point number 2?
I would say that the second most important thing for McLean Tigers to see victory is stay steady. They run a triple option type of offense, which is designed to wear a defense down. It's not a home run ball. We're not looking at Texas Tech of the early 2000s where we're scoring 50, 60, 70 points a game. The idea behind this is to wear the team down. With the triple option offense, there's always a read, a key guy who no matter what he does, he's in the wrong. If he dives down, then the ball bounces outside. If he stays outside, you rip it up through the middle. So it's steady. Stay with what you're doing, what you know. Stay within what your system is designed to do. And then over time, it might not be instantaneous, but over time, you can expect to see success.
All right, and 2 points down, intensity and steadiness. Point number 3, what do we have for our buzz?
The final buzz point tonight would be the battle plan. Every single team, every single unit comes into a game with the battle plan. What are we going to do that's going to make our game successful? Football is a game of parts and pieces. It's not so much an individual player, and that's what makes playing football so intense. It's such a great sport, is that it's an entire team effort. And as the picture gets bigger, that battle plan gets bigger, you need to make sure you stay within it. The real question is, what happens when the first punch is thrown? The analogy that's often thrown out there is the best laid battle plan is fantastic until the first bullet's fired. So what is going to happen once we have to deviate off of that battle plan? Are we able to maintain or steady the ship and get right back into it? And you can see how all three of these things work together to create a formidable team. It doesn't really matter the talent level. These are things that you can do without talent. So if you bring the intensity, if you stay steady, and if you're able to stay as close to that battle plan as you possibly can, McLean should see themselves in a very good position.
Just like Commodore Perry on Lake Erie, staying steady and keeping the ships where they need to be with the battle plan. That's great.
Absolutely. And as a Northwest Ohioer, as someone who was in the Toledo area for so long, we are big fans of the old Commodore Perry.
And it looks like we got the coin toss taking place. Adena will receive as a result of that coin toss. And the Tigers kicking from what looks to be the field house end of things, so the south end of the stadium, kicking south to north. And so our action will get started as we move from left to right with the Adena Warriors taking the ball first to start the evening. Let's talk a little bit as we prepare for the band to be getting on the field in just a few more minutes here. Let's talk a little bit about some of the key returning players, especially for the Tigers. We know last year they were considerably young and had some adversity they had to face early on when their quarterback, Braden Wright, went out in week number 1 and had to be replaced by Drake Stapleton, just a freshman. And a lot of those freshmen having to step up last year. Tell us a little bit about that, Coach Snyder.
Well, one of the freshmen that a lot of people are very excited about would be, or I guess sophomores this year, but last year's freshman would be Andrew Potts, the fullback for the Tigers. I've had the privilege to know Andrew. Fantastic kid, fantastic student, but as great as these things are, he's an even better athlete. Standing next to him at 14, 15 years old, he looks like a grown man. So I can't imagine being on the defensive side and trying to slow him down.
Those shoulders are broad.
He has some very broad shoulders, some very thick legs. But, and I'll let you field this one, how about Braden Wright?
It's exciting to see Braden Wright back up and healthy. We know last year he kind of bookended the season, starting out early on and went down after, or at least in the fourth quarter of their opening game against Eastern Pike, and then coming back to play and start in their final game against St. Trace. And it just kind of front and end, but in between was Drake Stapleton. So it's good to have Braden Wright here. We look for him to hopefully remain healthy for the season. And he comes in as a senior with quite a bit of experience, even though he missed a good chunk of last year. He's been the starting quarterback for the last 3 years to start the season. This will be his third year under helm, and they're looking to get all 10 games out of him this year. Pretty good thing coming back as well with him being healthy last year during basketball season and track. We know that for the track side of things, he was the league champion in the 400-meter dash, and he was also a district champion high jumper. So the boy has some skills. He's an athlete.
You're not kidding, man. If he gets into that second level, if he can get to the linebackers and through the linebackers, I mean, I imagine we're going to see it at some point this season. Might even see it tonight. But when he hits those strides, right now we're looking at the yard lines. He's taking 2-3 yards a step. The kid runs like a gazelle. He moves, and you'll see that breakaway speed. If he can get through the second level, there's not too many people that can catch him, like you just said.
There were a couple plays during last week's scrimmage as they kind of finished the preseason part of practices and scrimmages, they faced off against Piketon. The Red Streaks came here to Greenfield last Friday night, and just a nice evening. But I'm telling you, Braden Wright, once he got to that second level of linebackers and he got a hip on one of them, he was gone. And there was at least one run that evening that was that was just a beautiful run and just green grass in front.
Well, and that goes back to what I was talking about with the triple option. I can remember one of Braden Wright's first games was against Zane Trace at Zane Trace, and we were running a midline, which is a run right up the middle, and it was a great read by Braden Wright. That's one of his key strengths, is that he is very intelligent, football IQ off the charts. So he read it fantastically, and then before you know it, there he goes. He's in the end zone, and he's built since then. So we're very, very excited for Braden Wright. Mr. Weeks, tell us a little bit about some of the key returning players on defense.
On the defensive side of things, we have Dakota Bartram, who will be anchoring the back end of the defense, playing safety. Looking forward to big things from him. And leading tackler from last year, Landon Eubanks, coming back, had a number of tackles, many of which for loss, and some fumble recoveries, number of interceptions, just an all-around really good performer on the defensive side of things. We'll see Mr. Potts there as well. On the defensive line, looking to cause some havoc with that speed and that size and strength that he has. I think we're going to see some good things out of the defense as long as they can keep the white shirts of Adena in front of them. They should be well set for the evening.
With Eubanks, he would sit in that nickel position. He was never technically a cornerback, but we would hang him off the edge there, and he would have the flats. And when just like you said, he was there with the fumbles. He was there with the lost tackles for loss. If he can get two steps on you, he'll hit you in the backfield. And he's probably one of the hardest hitters on this McLean team.
For the size that he brings, even though he might not be the biggest in stature, he brings a lot of heart, and he will lay it on you when he gets the opportunity.
Absolutely. And then on the corners, we have two really, really exciting deep threats. We have Seth Wise and Max Eikenberry. Seth being a senior and Max being a sophomore, both incredibly, incredibly talented athletes. What do you got for us on these two gentlemen, Mr. Weeks?
It should be interesting to see, even though the triple is not necessarily one of those types of offenses that's known for throwing. They have some size on the outside, and if they can get a little bit of an advantage on the corners, they might have an opportunity to throw one toward the sideline, or if it's get down toward the goal line, get a chance to maybe throw a fade or a post route, possibly a quick slant. We'll have to wait and see there.
If you think back, okay, there's not too many teams that play triple option, but one of the most notorious were the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Yes.
And they were able to run that triple option, and then one of the best receivers in the modern era, Calvin Johnson, was able to come out of Georgia Tech, and he did exactly what we're thinking that these two gentlemen will do. You run, you run, you run, and then once the defense's eyes get in that backfield, you pop them for a deep pass. So we're looking to see that after a while of running it, that's when we might be hitting those deep balls with Max Eikenberry and Seth Wise.
And it looks like we'll have the band, so we'll turn it over to the musicians here at the band.
Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly present the pride of Highland County, the McLean Marching Tigers and Tigerettes. We rally the purple and gold and cheer our
with the McClain fight song, Hail McLean, Hail.
please rise as the band gives praise to our School of Beauty with the playing of the McLean alma mater. We welcome you to join in singing as the band salutes all those who have served this great nation.
Precision block band drill to America the Beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the colors being presented this evening
By the McLean
Cadet
Cadet
Corps.
Tonight's flag detail includes Cadet Staff Sergeant Justin Legee, Cadet Tech Sergeant Tristan Nichols, Cadet Second Lieutenant Madison Wheaton, and 2021 Graduate Cadet Justin Kegley. And now, we honor America with the playing of our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
say thank you to the Cadet Corps.
And a special thank you to the commander of the Cadet Corps this evening, Cadet Graduate Justin Kegley. Cadet Kegley is set to ship to Marine Basic on Monday after he makes his way to MEPS on Sunday evening. We wish the best of luck to Cadet Kegley, and we appreciate your service. Best of luck as you serve our great United States.
Fans, don't forget to visit the Band Booster booth and pick up a delicious marching taco. The Band Boosters are located on the home side, and $20 can feed the whole family this evening. Make your way there for some delicious grub. Tiger fans, it's time to get off your seats and on your feet for your McClain Fighting
Fun.
And it is great to be back. The purple and gold busts through the banner, and we are set to go. Football action ready to get underway here at McLean Stadium. I am juiced. How about you, Coach?
Oh, it feels electric. I mean, it's great to see. I mean, even though it's the opposing team, it's great to see the fans. We can't really see much of our stands, but from what I can see, there's lots of people. You can feel the energy in the students and the band, on the players. They're here, they're ready to go. We got a minute and 18 seconds before kickoff, and I just think that these kids are ready to rock and roll.
It's a big night. I can tell you from being here last year at the same time, getting ready for the first game of the season. It is unbelievably different. Last year, it felt like there was more metal than there were human beings here in the stadium. And this year, we've got tons of purple and gold, and on the other side, plenty of blue cheering on the Warriors. It's going to be a great night for high school football action.
Yeah, and as you said, the sky is as clear as it can get. The sun's going down. The Adena Warriors are coming out. They're doing a little pile there as they get ready for their kickoff. So it seems like both teams are ready to roll. The McLean kickoff team is out there. They're huddled up. They hopefully have 11 players ready to roll, and they're going to be kicking off here momentarily.
Looks like Coach Bivens given the special teams unit the last couple words of wisdom there. I'm sure he can give a few. I've heard him from quite a distance away a number of times when he's been down on the practice field. He tends to have some of those big vocal cords. So we'll get ready here for the Tigers to kick it off. Emerson Yates, number 24, will be ready to be booting the ball away for the Tigers as they will kick to the Warriors to start tonight's affair. And the Warriors to receive will be moving from left to right on your television screen, or if you're just listening to us in your car, well, I hope that you're not listening to us in your car, but but if you are, it'll be from, I guess, left to right on whatever dial you might be operating under. And just to remind you, we are live on not only Facebook but also on YouTube as well. So if you're someone who prefers to watch on a YouTube application, go ahead and switch over to that if it's a little easier for you, maybe to watch on your big screen at home perhaps. But we're getting ready to get things underway. Emerson Yates will approach the ball, kick it away, and we have high school football for 2021.
Adena receives the ball. He's looking for a little bit of space, and he's tackled at the 25 or thereabout.
Yates kick received by number 5, Caden McCorder.
Now the McLean defense is taking the field. The ball will be
Return
starting
out to the
on
27.
the 27. Adena's got after a very, very successful year last year, Adena's looking to kind of reset after losing a very, very talented class. The rumor is that they're going to be spreading it out a little bit more, airing the ball out. So we'll see what they do here with their first play of the season.
And so it looks like it'll be number 12. That'll be Garrett Britton, the senior, lined up in the shotgun, pistol formation. Handoff looks like it goes to number 3, and he's taken down right around the line of scrimmage.
By Trevor Stonerock. Trevor Stonerock got in there real quick behind the line of scrimmage. That's the key here for the McLean defenses. They've really struggled in the last couple of years to get in that backfield and disrupt the plays. So Trevor Stonerock sets the tone fantastic, and like I said, one of the keys to the game is intensity. And I'd say stopping the ball for a 1-yard gain is very intense for Trevor Stonerock.
He is a ball hawk. So
yes.
Starting off well here.
He pins those ears back and goes. Adena runs the ball again up the middle.
This time given a big number 34. He'll be taken down after a short gain.
That would be Caden Penwell, the sophomore linebacker on the stop there. So now we'll be looking at right around 3rd and 5. Adena's running the play in here as they get ready to break the huddle. We'll see. So now 3rd and 5, they can. I mean, this is the kind of what you want as an offense. Or choice-wise, you can either throw here or pass. So McLean's got to be watching both ways here.
The bells ring for the 3rd down. Britton rolling out.
Incomplete pass.
Incomplete.
So that'll bring up about 4th and 5 for the
3 and
Adena
out.
Warriors. We'll be seeing them probably punt here on the 32-yard line. So that's a 3 and out for the McClain defense. That is fantastic start. You couldn't ask for a better start outside of a turnover for the McClain defense.
So 2 runs, about 5 yards, an incomplete pass. And it
I'd
looks
say
like they're going to line up to punt. Can't ask for a whole lot more.
We got Dakota Bartram back to return the punt for McClain.
It looks like Eichenberry will go a little bit further back. Bartram just kind of rolls over.
And that'd be a timeout for Adena. Looks like Looks like they might have been missing a player or two. So with the start there, that's as much as you can ask for intensity-wise from the McLean defense. But then it's going to lead into that next step of whether or not the McLean defense can maintain that steady intensity. It's always easy on that first drive to come out, pin your ears back, and go disrupt the play. But can you maintain that for quarter after quarter after quarter until the 4th quarter buzzer rings?
Well, the Tigers will have a chance here to see if they can maintain the success they've had coming off that defensive stand as they will line up to return the punt. It'll be Eichenberry back deep to receive, and it looks like, I think it was number 3 lined up to punt. No, correction on that, number 34 will be their punter.
Max Eichenberry, I honestly can't think of a time when McLean has had this much speed at so many different spots. Max Eichenberry back there looking to return this punt. As Adena is lining up to snap the ball. They're going to shift back.
And so it'll be number 34, Gabe Stark, ready to punt. Gets it away, kind of a short hopper, but it rolls really well for the white shirts of Adena, and they'll down it just outside of the 20-yard line.
Yep, it looks like McLean will be starting offense on the 21-yard line on the right hash. So now we get our first chance to see this McLean offense, this triple option offense that Braden Wright has been running for 3 years. Everyone is incredibly excited to see what Braden Wright has to offer here. He's been doing this since he was a sophomore, and very, very rarely has anybody ever been able to keep up with Braden Wright. So after last year's kind of disappointing bookended season, as you said, Coach Orzotti's kind of taking his time, making sure he gets the right play in there.
And as they break the sideline huddle and make their way out, it will be Braden Wright getting ready to take the first snap on offense for the Tigers. Once again, they have that kind of triple option look.
If you look down here, there's somebody missing on defense. We have an open slot receiver. They're still not shifting out to it right here. They should be.
It is a short slant or
there we go. Now they're
now they
out.
shift out. The give this time. Off center.
Okay.
Couple yard gain.
Yep. Looks like a 2-yard gain there.
Toss with the run.
So with that first formation, McClain looked to spread it out and see how Adena adjusted to it. So now McClain will be looking at a 2nd and 8 with Potts running it up the middle.
So the first play off of scrimmage here, safe play, goes to their workhorse, Andrew Potts.
Absolutely.
Gets positive yards, and really, 3 yards, 4 yards is what Coach Orzotti wants to see out of this offense. Wear down the Warriors early.
The dream is 3.5 yards of play. That way you can get a first down. We're going to have a little toss sweep to Andrew Potts.
This time pitch, he gets outside.
Nope, he does get the corner
runs
a little
through
bit.
A tackle.
Yep, and it looks like, see where they mark him, looks like he's got the first down. He couldn't quite get the corner on that, but you saw the strength there in that linebacker that was trying to come get him. You have to attack his legs or you're not going to bring Andrew Potts down. So that was a fantastic job by Andrew Potts by keep pushing it out. Now, McClain needs to make sure that they set that edge so Potts can plant and move up.
And we saw there, even though he might have kind of that wide shoulder and, as you mentioned, legs kind of like tree trunks, he can really, really scoot to the outside if he wants. Once again, they give to Potts. He rumbles forward. Another gain on the play, probably about 3.
Looking like they're running the midline there with Braden Wright reading that nose guard, seeing what that nose guard does. So with this, that nose guard is stepping down, he's stepping through, which is a read that he gives the ball to Potts. So Potts will rumble forward for 3 yards. We're looking at 2nd and 7 here from the 42-yard line as McClain lines up. You got Seth Wise down here at the bottom of the screen. Another read, Braden Wright pulls it. He's trying to get to the corner.
Gets outside,
he's
a little stiff arm.
There we go. He gets the first down, 8-yard gain by Braden Wright on the keeper. He read that end was coming down, so he pulled the ball and went right around the edge there. He got some leading blockers. He just couldn't quite beat that outside man, but that's a huge first down. So now we have back-to-back first downs by the McClain Tigers. So the intensity was there on defense. Intensity looks to be there on offense. Now they're going to be running that clock. We got 9 minutes left. A solid drive here will take at least 6 minutes off that clock. It helps with keeping your line fresh, your runners fresh, keep those legs fresh. We got Potts in the backfield, and it looks like Trevor Stonerock and Caden Pinwell as your backs. Seth Wise down here at the split out.
And Bartram will be on the right side.
Got
this
a
time
little
counter play.
Counter play. And that's Caden Pinwell with the first down. That is a gain of 12, 11, or 12 yards.
Gain on the play, 11 yards. And that'll be another Tigers. First down.
So that's 3 first downs now for the Tigers, and it's methodical. These are big gains, and usually you'll take anywhere between 3.5 and that end zone right there. So you can feel the momentum building.
It's just like a steam train. Once it gets rolling, it's hard to stop this type of offense.
Absolutely. There's so many options. It's triple option offense. There's so many keys that you have to read on. Someone's always out of position.
This time, Penwell will go in motion. Hand this time to Potts. He bounces into a pile. And back to the line of scrimmage, at least maybe a short game, but not much.
Ooh, looks like they're giving him a yard and a half, maybe even 2. So we could be looking at 2nd and 8 here. So now they're running the same plays. It's that steadiness. It's that battle plan. Are we going to wear them down? Yeah, that time might have been the wrong read, but next time Braden Wright's going to see it. If he steps down, he's going to pull, and you're going to see him bounce right around that edge.
And the Tigers in no hurry to necessarily keep the huddle moving or go no huddle. They just want to stay steady. Penwell, recipient of the pitch there, he is tattooed by number 5, but not after any more than about 4-yard gain, so still positive yardage.
That would be junior Caden McWhorter on the big hit there on Caden Pinwell. Great grab by Pinwell, though, to try to get that corner. So we're looking at 3rd and 4 here with the McClain Tigers just outside. Now, this one, you're going to see probably something off the edges, a power move here. But watch those corners. If those corners aren't taking their reads, this is right around the time, if they get a first down here, where you take a shot.
This time handed off to Potts, goes forward. He rumbles,
there you go.
runs
like
through
I said,
another.
Tree trunks. Very hard to stop that type of run. It hits so quick. that McLean is able to, if they can get that initial surge, it's very, very hard to stop without a 2-3 yard gain. So now that's another first down. That will make it 4 first downs on this drive. This is exactly what Coach Orzotti was looking for coming out here against these Adena Warriors. So now they're at the 32, 33 yard line. So now it would be, they haven't really thrown the ball yet. This would be a chance where they could throw the ball, or why change what's working, right, Mr. Weeks?
That's right. If something's working, might as well keep it until they stop it.
Braden
And Braden Wright will rumble outside.
He gets the edge, and he is going in
front.
Braden Wright with the first touchdown of the McLean Tigers season. He read that edge, and like we said earlier in the broadcast, if Braden Wright can get the edge, there's very few people that can catch him. The dude knows what he's doing back there. He's been back there for 3 solid years now, and you saw it right there. He knew exactly what to do. He knew exactly when to be patient. He got the corner, and off to the pylon he went. He did a fantastic job right there.
The Tigers get on the board first. They put 6 up and are looking to get the extra point here as Emerson Yates will line up with an opportunity to put the point after try through the uprights. Oh, bad snap.
Emerson Yates still walks through, and he gets the field goal.
Makes it
Great
through.
job of handling that low snap, and Emerson Yates still taking a step. So now McClain will be up 7-0 with 6 minutes and 28 seconds left. McClain has taken an early lead over your Adena Warriors.
Big, big drive, just like you would script it up for Coach Orzotti and the coaching staff here for the Tigers. And what more can you say about the workhorse Andrew Potts and then the speedster there, Braden Wright, along with Caden Penwell?
Well, that's the thing, is it hit every single step in the backfield. Trevor Stonerock got a carry. Caden Penwell got 2 carries, and like you said, the workhorse got his legs under him. So 4 first downs right there. As a triple option offense, you want first downs. First downs are just as valuable. And I mean, they lead to time of possession, so they're about as valuable as it gets outside of touchdowns.
They took quite a bit of time there off the clock on that first possession. 3 and out for the Warriors, and we're just at about 6.5 left in this quarter, so they really ran some time off.
I'll said it once, I'll say it again. It's the dream of triple option offense is to milk that clock, shorten the game, shorten the time your defense is out there. For the most part, if your defense isn't out there, the other team can't score except off of a turnover. So now we have Emerson Yates getting ready to kick the ball off again. He will be kicking from the 40.
So it looks like Yates to line up here. McCorder, or correction, actually number 3 this time, which would be Clay Rawlings. We saw him earlier take a handoff. He's deep to receive along with Wolf. This time it'll be Wolf getting it on the run, going toward the middle. He's met by Landon Eubanks.
Pins his ears back. Landon Eubanks has always been a great special teams player for that very reason. He wants to go fast. He wants to hit hard. And right there you saw he didn't stop at the walls. He didn't let any blocks get in his way. He shed the blocks, got to the ball, and made a good solid contact hit back at the 31-yard line. So we'll see if the McLean Tigers can come back out and keep that consistency, keep steady on the defensive end. Last time they met about as great as they could, the Adena offense. So we'll see if we can do it again here in 3 and out.
Ritten will line up in a power pistol, looks at his first option, number 34. Good run there, and then met by the second level of Tigers, so probably gain of about 7 on the play. That'd
be Gabe Stark on the carry. It looks like they're going to give him about 8 yards on that. So now the McLean defense has had a little bit of a buck. The battle plan kind of shaky. So now we're going to see how they respond to that. How are we going to step? They just got their biggest gain of the game. I know it's still early,
yes,
but the biggest gain of the game with that fullback run right there.
And number 34, the recipient of that handoff, gaining those yards. Stark, he goes off. Looks like possibly something to do with his helmet as he's on the sideline. They'll run and substitute there. Britton once again in that pistol formation, big back behind him. Handoff number 90 up the middle off the left side of the tackle there, and he will gain a first down for the Warriors.
So that's Hudson Matthews with the carry, the first down of Adena for the game. a carry of about 6-7 yards. So now the ball's on the 46-yard line with McClain's defense looking for a stop here.
All right, so the Tigers, nothing necessarily too bad. They give up a first down, which is more than what they did on the first drive, but 3 and out can't be necessarily done all night long, so we'll see what happens now. They go in motion. Number 3, Britton will keep. He's met by Potts and driven
a whole
back.
pile of purple right there. And you're right. It's early in the game. It's still in the first quarter. There's nothing to panic about here. It's just how do we respond? How are we going to respond when they start moving the ball a little bit? Now, neither team has had an official throw yet outside of that third down play on the first drive. So it looks like both teams are looking to establish that run game early.
And we had kind of expected that out of both teams. We knew the Tigers were going to be very run heavy, but we expect especially Adena to be the same. They've been that way for a number of years, and especially with having lost their quarterback and running back duo from the past few years, Sykes and Throckmorton. Britton kind of
dropped in the backfield for a 5-yard
down.
loss. Fantastic. Now you got to watch that snap with that jet run. They might be trying to hit a little end right there, hit direct snap to the running back going in motion. So we've got to watch that. We got to make sure that that's covered, because one of these times they might be snapping it right to the running back that's already in motion, and he could have that edge going over there against Dakota Bartram on the field side corner.
So we got to be very cognizant of that. And the Warriors will line up for their third down attempt.
Here
and
comes
long.
the pass.
Luke Dumey from his nose guard position
Good.
gets in the backfield, and he will bring him down for a sack.
That'd be a fantastic move by Luke Dumey. That would be the junior Luke Dumey getting in the backfield, getting his first sack of the year. Fantastic. So there's how they responded. It went from a big gain, first down, the ball's moving, and then the Tigers arched their back, and they stopped them, and they weren't able to cross this side of the 50. So now they forced another fourth down. We have Max Eikenberry in the backfield to return this punt. And Caleb Osborne drops back to kick it.
Gets it away, up, high, end over end. Eikenberry, muffs the punt, ran right into 2 Adena Warriors right there. Looks like they recover, and yes, the signal does go that way.
That'll happen. So Max Eikenberry hesitated. He wasn't sure whether he wanted to catch it. He should have stepped in, probably called a fair catch there. Step in, catch that ball, and take – I mean, you don't need to return every single punt, so just catch the ball and make sure it's recovered and not bouncing towards the end zone. I'm sure Max Eikenberry, he's a very steady player. I've had the privilege of coaching him in other sports. He'll forget about it.
Well, and I can imagine, a high punt like that, the sun's not quite down, so it might be coming over top of the press box a little bit, maybe catching the corner of the eye perhaps.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he's young. I mean, sophomore, still learning.
Motion. Landon Eubanks, first one to meet big number 34, Gabe Stark.
Landon Eubanks wants to get in the backfield, but Stark's a big boy, so he kind of carried him
number 3,
past
Eubanks.
the line of scrimmage for a 2-yard gain.
Gain of 2 on the play. Second down.
That's kind of what you're looking for in response to the turnover, which is fine, because you got your defense out there. And so far, early here in the first half, the McLean defenses look fantastic.
They really have. I mean, outside of a couple runs that have gone over 5 yards, they've really held Adena to very little yardage, 2, 3 at most on a lot of these. This time, Dumey gets to the backfield, and I'm telling you, he is exploding off the line.
And the thing is, it's him getting in the backfield disrupts the play. Yes, you would like to see him make that tackle back there, but he's disrupting the play, and someone missed their assignment. So then someone else is going to be looking to cover that, and it kind of loosens everything up. So even though Luke Dumey did not make the tackle in the backfield there, he did so much by simply creating that gap coming there out of the nose guard position.
So the bells will ring once again here for third down. Adena will break the huddle, getting ready for their opportunity here. Closest they've been after a muff punt by Eikenberry. Britton falls out from the pistol.
We'll see if McLean can get off the field here. Fumble snap in the backfield, and that would be a 3-and-out for the McLean defense. So after the muff punt, McLean answered just how you would hope they would. 3 snaps for Adena, and then they're punting the ball again, it looks like.
And we would expect at this yardage they're probably going to go ahead and I would assume go for it unless
they're
they
running
can really
personnel on and off. Well, it's 4th and 15, so
it's hard to tell.
we will see. And looks like they are going to punt it.
I would look for a fake here, not put anyone back. If
And
they can
McClain
pin
is
one
not.
deep, great for them. But this is going to be tough, I think, to pin it unless they can cough and corner. It is up
That is
though,
very
well
high,
placed.
spinning. Can they grab it though? That is
Oh.
on the 5-6, right around the 6-yard line. The McLean offense will be taking over, so we'll see what they can do, starting with about 94 yards to go. It is 7-0 with 28 seconds left in the first quarter. The ball will be on the 6-yard line as the McLean offense once again takes the field.
So the Tigers kind of avoid a little bit of disaster after that muffed punt. So no harm, no foul, I suppose. But they will have a little bit of a long way to go here as the ball has been placed on what looks like the 6, and then make that the 7-yard line from here as we get a little bit of a better peek through the window.
But the thing is here, if you can get 2 first downs, you're looking at the ball being outside the 20, and you have 80 yards to go to milk that clock. So this could be a huge, huge, huge drive for McLean, looking to give the ball back to Adena with very little time left in the second quarter.
And this has been a very quick first quarter. We are under a minute, 28 seconds left to play in the first, and the Tigers just going out for their second opportunity on offense here. So both teams really milking the clock using the run game.
And we'll see if Coach Orzodi only has 1 down here, and then he takes it into the second quarter. Keeps the legs, keeps those cramping down, because he's only got 28 seconds left, so he only needs to run 1 play here. Or he might try to sneak 2 in.
And so after the timeout, we'll have the Tigers break the huddle first. And if not a full timeout, Coach Snyder just indicated they could have had a water break here early season with it being the first game, and as warm as we mentioned it was during pregame, possibly a chance to maybe ward off some of those maybe some of those sneaky cramps that might get up and at the players here as we've just almost gotten through a quarter of play.
Absolutely, and McLean takes the ball here. It looks like it's a handoff to Potts. Potts gets the
Pushing
drive, gets
forward.
those legs a-churning, and gets it up to about looks like the 12 or 13-yard line.
Handoff goes to Potts. Gain on the play. Gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3.
And the ball on the 14-yard line, 2nd and 3. And it looks like Coach Orzodi will be taking it into the quarter. So you mentioned the water breaks that they're given. It's crazy how much this game has changed. I remember my elders when I was younger talking about how all the hard things that they had to go through with two-a-days, how hellish those things were, and with the CTE and the hydration things that we've figured out through sports science and sports medicine, you'll see the refs probably give a water break a quarter, and they're directed to by their bosses.
And probably just a good idea in general. Keep everybody safe and keep the contest as exciting as it can be.
Absolutely. Football is a very violent sport, but that doesn't mean we can't do what we can do to make sure we're taking care of our kids. So after the first quarter, it is 7-0 with McClain looking at a 2nd and 3 on the 14-yard line. So McClain, once again, right off the get-go, they get 7 yards on that first carry. I mean, they got to be feeling it. They got to be feeling that momentum starting to roll downhill. It looks like Adena is moving back out on the field as McClain Tigers get their final instructions from Coach Orzodi.
So the Tigers on offense will come out with a 2nd and 3. that they will be facing here as we start the second quarter and flip ends. So now the purple and gold will move from left to right, and we're so glad that you've joined us here on our live stream, both on Facebook or on YouTube. Very excited, and a number of folks joining us from all around the country. Want to say thank you to all of those from both near and far. Got some folks in many other states, Texas, Tennessee. I tell you, the great United States is well represented, and Tiger Nation is taking up a good chunk of it here this evening. So we say thank you for joining us.
And here's a call out for everybody, McLean nationwide that's watching. This is a special McLean team. Give someone a call, shoot someone a text, tell them to turn it on, and let them watch this special program that Coach Orzotti has put on the field this year. So now we're looking at 3rd and 3 with the ball on the 13 after a no gain right there. So we'll see what Coach Orzotti draws up.
What we've seen so far from the Tigers, even on the plays that are not getting, the big 5-6 type yard gains, still nothing in the negative thus far. So the Tigers still doing what they want to do here on the offensive side of things. Keep going forward as best they can. Now they go into a shotgun.
That's a very valid point. So they're moving into the shotgun. We're going to see, it looks like a design quarterback run. Miss block, it looks like, and Braden Wright goes down for a loss of 1. So that'll be the first 3 and out for McLean on the night. But that does not mean that the McLean train has stopped rolling. So that was a loss of 2, maybe 3 yards. The ball will move back to the 12. And we will see McLean's first punt of the season.
And so I must have
I
put
didn't
the
want to
bad
say
juju
it.
on.
I didn't want to
was
say
me.
you'd never call that out. Come on, man. You know better than that.
Just like talking about a perfect game.
It
right?
is. It is.
Can't do that. But regardless, the Tigers have to punt for the first time this evening, and we will see who will be the man to line up deep to punt, and it will be Potts. So the big, thick legs that typically are pounding the ball forward will be kicking the ball away here, and they bring their returner up.
Caden McWhorter, low snap. Potts gets it off. It's
Potts
down.
Away.
McWhorter grabs a fair catch at the 42-43 yard line. So McLean punts it down, punt of about 30 yards, and Adena comes out to try their offense once again. It looks like Andrew Potts is coming out for a little breather here. He has been a workhorse so far, but I can't imagine he stays out too long. You got to make sure you got your players in the game ready to rock and roll.
And he definitely earns a little bit of a breather there because he's been in, I think, on just about every play that I can think of. So they'll go ahead and line up here with number 58, Isaac Smith, along with number 68 for the Tigers on the right end, Luke Dumey at nose guard.
A design quarterback draw and met in the backfield by Trevor Stonerock for a loss of 2. So Trevor Stonerock once again gets in the backfield, disrupts the design quarterback draw, and gets a loss of 2 for the McLean defense. It looks like someone is taking a knee. We cannot quite see who it is. And do we have our first cramp of the night?
I believe we might, as our trainer will run out, and I can't tell what the number is. Looks like possibly a 3, maybe 13. So I believe that'll be Drake Stapleton.
Yep.
He's quick to get up, and he will walk off.
The thing about a cramp, though, once you start, man, it is hard to stop.
Yes,
so that
indeed.
would be the sophomore starting safety, as well as the second-string quarterback, Drake Stapleton. Looks like just a minor cramp, but he jogged it off the field. I think there will be more of that here shortly. So we'll see who replaces him. It looks like Josiah Burchett, the junior, is taking Drake Stapleton's place at safety. Adena Warriors are coming back out of the injury timeout. Everybody got a little shot of water, so now they're ready to rock and roll. So we're looking at second and 12 with the ball right on the 45-yard line, with the McLean defense looking to stop Adena once again.
So loss on the first down attempt, as Trevor Stonerock was able to get in the backfield and take down Britton for a loss of about 1 or 2 on the play. And They will line up for their chance here from what looks to be about the 44 or 45-yard line. So Britton once again in that pistol formation. This time takes
A little
pitch,
option there. The
on
ball's
the
on the ground.
ground,
Ball's on the ground.
knocked out,
And the ball goes out, which chances are it will stay with Adena, and it does.
Fumble on the play. Pinballs around. Out of bounds before possession began. Stay with the Warriors.
Looks like a 3rd and 9 for the Adena Warriors after that fumbled option play. Ball went out of bounds with Adena touching it. So the ball cannot advance once it's fumbled, but if Adena is able to recover it or get close to it, then that's why the ball moved forward. So they thought that he was close to having possession or had possession. And now with Adena moving out, they get stopped after a gain of 2 yards. That is Clay Rollins on the carry there. So now we're looking at 4th and 6 with the ball on the 41. We'll see what Adena does. It looks like they're running their punt personnel onto the field. This is the area that you might try a fake punt. You got about half the sticks to go. You're on this side of the 50. So this is where I would be very careful of a fake punt.
I would very much advise them to be wary of that. Looks like number 64 will drop back and a possible chance to boot it away here. He does. Big, high, arching kick and just get out of the way.
Peter. So the ball rolls down to the 7-yard line. Another deep punt for the Adena Warriors, pinning the McClain Tigers deep in their own territory. Max Eichenberry was back to receive it. He decided to call everyone off. But with the ball not knowing where the ball is, it looked like the McLean Tigers were running right under it. So very scary moment there for Coach Bivens at special teams. And I imagine Coach Orzotti was a little nervous as well. So that's the 3rd 3-and-out for the Adena Warriors. So that's 3 times that the McLean defense was able to come out and not allow a first down. We have not seen this stout of a defense, at least so far in the game, in a long time here at McLean.
And a big part of that, I would say, not only due to big number 44, Andrew Potts, who's been doing it all night long on both ends, but especially we see Trevor Stonerock coming from his linebacker position, getting penetration into the backfield. And Luke Doomey, number 27, at his nose guard spot, has been just a rocket off the ball.
Absolutely. It's a team effort here, but you are absolutely correct. They're meeting them in the backfield, disrupting the play. So let's see what the McLean offense can do here.
The Tigers on their 3rd possession of the game here, right under center, keeps. This time he bounces off of the right side of the line, goes forward, and then pushed back after a gain out past the 10-yard line.
So it looks like they're going to give him a gain of about 5 or 6 on the quarterback keeper. He read it, he pulled it, and then he got up to that second level where he had to hesitate in order to get around it. And Adena's defense did a good job rallying to the ball and bringing Braden Wright down. The big thing to stop Braden Wright is to not let him get in that open field, let those gazelle legs get going. So we're looking at 2nd and 5 with the ball on the 12 right now.
Once again, Wright lines up under center. This time he will hand off, given to Potts. He keeps the legs turning.
And
but
there's
this
a
time
fumble,
the ball
and
is
Adena
out, taken
goes
away.
into the end zone.
Oh my goodness, I didn't see what happened there, but number 3 on the fumble recovery.
So now we have a 7-6 game with Adena getting the fumble recovery and taking it right into the end zone. So we'll see if Adena goes for 1 or 2 there. There's your misstep. That might be a misstep. Now, how are you going to respond? It's all about staying to that battle plan. Now, as a sophomore, it's hard for Andrew Potts to get past that fumble that they just scored off of a fumble that he created. But the thing is, this offense moves so much off of his getting forward, he doesn't have time to sit there and feel sorry about doing that. So we'll see how he responds, and that's something that you run into with a lot of these younger players is how do they respond to adverse situations?
And it was number 3, Clay Rawlings, that
so
picked up the fumble there.
Absolutely.
Ran it back.
Absolutely. So Adena will be going for 2 here.
So an opportunity in motion. Britton rolls out.
Potts in the backfield,
Short,
first toss,
flat pass.
and it's too far.
Too far out in front.
Absolutely. So Adena's 2-point conversion is no good. Britton's pass went to Caden McWhorter, just wide. He was there. It was there, but yeah, I mean, you got to complete the passes if you want them to work. So now it's 7-6 with 7:29 left here in the second quarter. We'll see what McClain does. How do they respond to this? Are we going to hang our heads and feel bad? Or are they going to step up, arch their backs, and get a good drive here? I think right now the best thing for Coach Orzotti's team would have a good, solid drive, punch it in with about a minute left, and go into halftime up 8 points.
So an opportunity for the Tigers to face or to respond to a little bit of adversity here. And we look for the Tigers to come out hopefully and firing on all cylinders after giving up that fumble return on the short field there as number 3 for the Warriors. That would be Clay Rawlings, returns it in for a touchdown for Adena, and they get their first points of the night. So 7:29 left in the second quarter. Your score 7-6. The Tigers with the 1-point advantage, and it looks like Adena will line up with McWhorter, number 5, ready to kick off for his first time this evening.
And deep for the McLean Tigers is Seth Wise, Max Eichenberry, and Landon Eubanks. So we got a squib kick here. Can't quite see who picked that up.
And it looks like number 30 for the Tigers was the one who took that one.
So that would be freshman Riley Cummins if that is number 30. So that's a big step for a freshman here in the first game, first squib kick of the year. You catch it and he even tried to get a couple yards. So good for Mr. Cummins there, and we'll see what the McLean offense can do now. And if I'm in Coach Orzotti's ear, I go right back to the run. You give it right back to Andrew Potts, and you see what he can do.
And I'll be honest, I really don't know what happened on that fumble. It was hard to I saw Potts had the ball, maybe, but it squirted out somehow.
There's times where it's just so many bodies, so many things. It's hard to tell what happens.
I can tell you he'll be squeezing the rock like a tube of toothpaste here as he gets the ball on this first down run. Absolutely,
and he gets only a yard on that. Do you think that the legs of Andrew Potts might be affecting him at this point? Because he's probably looking at 10 carries so far here in the first half. So do you think that his legs might be getting a little tired?
I would imagine he's starting to feel it a little bit here, and perhaps maybe they go to that counter look that they saw work well with Penwell, or perhaps Stone Rock that they like to throw in motion every now and then from those wingback positions.
That's absolutely what I was thinking as well. They haven't looked at anything on the outside, and they haven't had any deep passes yet.
In fact, I'm not really sure if they have
Good
had
call.
any passes.
There's the counter with Caden Penwell getting to the second level.
He is loose,
to the
has
30,
a chance.
and he is caught by number 2, Clay Wilt. So Caden Penwell on the counter right after David Weeks calls it. He says, hey, go back to that counter. Caden Penwell hits it, plants, and gets it all the way down to the 29-yard line. Fantastic run, young man. Caden Penwell, the sophomore, gets some energy back into this McLean offense, and now we're going to see what they can do with it.
Well, I guess the bad juju got replaced with a little bit of good juju on that one.
I would say go out neutral. Don't play that game anymore,
No
man.
more.
Go out neutral.
That's right. Take the chips that I came in with.
Absolutely. So Braden Wright gets back under center.
Once again, Potts will be the back. This time they look to throw. First opportunity. Max Eichenberry. Oh, just off of the fingertips on the left side pass there.
Now that's something that you're going to want to come back to, though, because it was there. It was a good-looking pass by Braden Wright. Quick one-step drop. Pass it out there for the Y fade. And now we'll see. The problem with passing in a triple option offense is as a runner, you are going for 3.5 yards. If you pass on first down, now you're behind the schedule. The schedule is what do you need to do to get a first down. So now they're going to need a bigger play than 3.5 yards.
So looking to get that here as Penwell will go in motion. This time they
Andrew
give to
Potts.
Potts goes through a number of tackles, bounces off the right side, and into the end zone.
And
Andrew Potts.
That's how you respond after a fumble. Fantastic job by Andrew Potts. So McLean offense picks it up at the 31-yard line. and they march it down. The sophomores carrying the load. We have a counter by Caden Penwell. Andrew Potts on a fullback dive, and he walks it into the end zone. So now McLean is looking at 13-6 with 5:55 left in the second quarter. Now this sophomore class is exciting.
I can tell you right now, if you are the Warriors wearing those white shirts in that second level, you don't want to be diving toward Andrew Potts' ankles if you're trying to bring him down, because you saw right there, he ran through a couple of them and was not slowed at all.
I'm a 32-year-old man, and I'm not diving at his ankles. That is a scary young man right there.
You're going to have some cleat marks in your back if that's the case. Yates to kick up this time. Good snap. It is through. Points on the board.
You could not ask for a better response after giving up that fumble. And the thing is, if you're going into halftime, you're talking to your defense and you're talking to your offense. You're talking to your team. You're telling them that it was a fluke that scored. It wasn't them driving the ball. It wasn't a big play. It was simply a fluke that they scored on. I totally agree with Coach Orzotti there, going back to this young blood, letting him carry the ball, letting him score, getting that fumble in the backfield.
And he gets that in the rear view mirror.
That's what I'm looking for. Not the backfield. He did fumble in the backfield. He's trying to forget that. You are absolutely correct.
That's right. Puts it behind him and makes up for it by getting rid of the 6 that Adena got and gets 6 of his own. So draws even there. And the Tigers get another score on the board. So now they go up by 8 here. 5:55 left in the second quarter. Tigers with a lead 14-6 over the Warriors here in week 1 of this 2021 season. Big stuff here from the Tigers offense. It's what we expected. One pass thus far the entire half, but everything has pretty much been forward momentum, and that's what you want if you're Coach Orzotti and the coaching staff here for the Tigers.
And that's the thing about riding your horses. If you have good work horses, you ride them, and they carry the team. They're able to do that play after play after play.
So Yates will line up to kick third time this evening. Boots it away. Nice kick, end over end. Rockets over the receiver McWhorter's head. He'll let it bounce into the end zone for a touchback.
Great job there by Emerson Yates, a junior. Emerson Yates has been playing both soccer and football for his 3 years here at McLean. So he is a dual sport athlete and following after his brother's footsteps, Camden Yates, in the kickoff. So the Yates family obviously has a pretty big leg. We're excited to see what Emerson is able to do with the rest of the season. Emerson also does play on defense. He is in there at the Mike linebacker position. Very strong, very fun kid to be around.
So the Warriors will have another opportunity here, few and far between, as the Tigers have really put the screws to them on the defensive side of things. And this time, Landon Eubanks, the senior, gets into the backfield and records another tackle for loss.
Actually, correction there. That would be Michael Stevenson getting to the play first. Cleaned up by Landon Eubanks.
Thank you, Coach.
I know. I had to. I'm sorry. We got to give credit where credit is due. So Michael Stevenson, his first year as a starter, gets a little bit of action in his first play. He was able to get back there and grab those shoelaces. Then Landon Eubanks came right in and cleaned it up. We're now looking at a 2nd and 11. Once again, Adena finds themselves with 2 sticks to go. So anytime you hear 2 sticks or double sticks, that's anywhere beyond the down and distance being 10. So we're at 2nd and 11 with the ball on the 19-yard line.
And they will run Potts back off of that right side. This time, looks like Isaac Smith will be.
Nope,
that is
Stevenson
Michael Stevenson again. My goodness, coming off the left side.
He will make you say his name. He is going to be in there game and game again, and that's what we want. McLean is looking for that depth. So Michael Stevenson might not have started on the line, but he's rotated in there, and now he's making a difference. So he's doing a fantastic job stepping in when his number's called and making Adena feel his presence. So we are at 3rd and 7 with Adena looking for their first down of this drive. With a design pass rolling out to the right, the pass is away.
Opportunity there, wide open, but just behind his intended target.
The target was number 8. We are looking for his number.
Incomplete. Intended
That would be Mason Dyer. So Seth Wise was over there on the field side corner. He was kind of had a decision to make, though, because the quarterback, Brenton, had that corner. So he had to come up and make sure the pass was away, which left the receiver wide open. Luckily, the pass dropped for the McLean defense. So that'll make another 3 and out as Adena looks to punt from their 24-yard line.
And we saw there Britton as he tried to roll to his right, throwing back a little bit. And that's a tough pass to make as you're rolling right and trying to throw back a little bit to the left.
Looks like we might have a offsides on Michael Stevenson. Yep, it'll be an offsides. He jumped over the ball, which caused the other player to jump. If the defense draws the offensive player into that false start, that's called encroachment. So therefore, the penalty goes on the defense. A lot of times you see that offensive player moving and you jump off the couch and you scream and he moved, when it was actually the defensive player that pulled him offside. So now we're looking at 4th and 4 with the ball on the 29-yard line.
Looks to here if we're seeing the number or the down indicator on the far side correct, maybe even closer to 4th and 3, but nonetheless they will take the opportunity to punt. And Luke Doomey puts his hands up. The shank of a punt goes out of bounds on the Tiger side of the field. So great opportunity here for the Tigers.
Yep, with the ball starting on the 43-yard line. It is 14-6 with 4 minutes and 14 seconds left in the second quarter. So after that fantastic drive, we are going to get our first look at the backup fullback as Andrew Potts takes a play or two off. Braden Wright is getting the play call from Coach Orzotti. McClain will be taking over at the 42-yard line, right there on the right hash.
So Braden Wright comes out.
Yep. Luke Dooney's now running fullback.
And he did a great job on that punt to get into the backfield and get his hands up.
He's piecing together a pretty nice game here.
And he will get the ball, make his way forward, just hold on to the pigskin there.
I'd say he looks like he's got a gain of about 4, jumps it up to the 39-yard line. So Luke Doomey toting the rock there for his first carry of the season. Gets a gain of 3. The ball's on the 39-yard line with 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in this half.
Big half on his part thus far, and he will stay at fullback, given number 44, Andrew Potts, a well-deserved rest here with just about 3.5 minutes left on the second quarter clock. This time gives once again to Doomey. He will roll his way forward to right around the line of scrimmage, or maybe just about a yard past, perhaps.
Looks like they're spotting the ball on the 37-yard line, so a gain of 2. So we are looking at 3rd and 6 maybe. So you're hoping that McClain would be able to punch this in as time goes out. There's 3 minutes left, so they're looking for a pretty big first down here.
If they can get the first down, I think that would be big on the drive. That should allow them to probably at least run out the clock, even if they don't make their way into the end zone. What do you think right here?
Do you go for it on 4th down if they don't get it? We'll see
well,
if
they
it
get
matters.
the pitch
Trevor
to Stone Rock. This is his first time he's gone, and there is a flag thrown at the end of that play.
Let's see what the call is.
Stone Rock on the pitch.
Holding McClain. So I do believe that they got the right tackle, Michael Stevenson, for holding right at the play. He just held on to too much cloth. Anytime you bring another player down, which he did there, they're going to call it every single time. Linemen are designed to block, and if you can't put that dude on his derriere, they're going to call a holding on you. So anytime you have to torque and you're out of position, it's a pretty easy call for the official. So it moves them from being in 4th and 1 position to looking at 3rd and double stick. So we're looking at 3rd and 15 here as the game clock is down to 2 minutes and 51 seconds. So this is an obvious passing down for McClain.
The question is, do they pass?
Well, I mean, if you can get a big gain here on the run, I mean, you're going to go, you're 2 downs.
Tight formation here. They will look to pass. Deep, well-thrown ball over the head of Eikenberry, and a chance to be picked off, but dropped by the safety there, or at least the corner, whoever it may have been running with him.
So I would say here, Coach Orzotti is going to go for the old coffin corner punt. As Andrew Potts walks back out onto the field, we'll see if Coach Orzodi has practiced the coffin corner, a practice by punters of trying to put it as close to the near pylon as possible. The goal is to pin them within or inside of the 10, and obviously the closer you get to the pylon, the better.
And so it looks like Potts will come out. He's gotten a good rest here on this series, but he will come out to punt the ball away. We'll see him put a leg into it here. Looks like number 12, Britton, the quarterback, will have the return duties. Well struck by Mr. Potts, and it is down inside the 15, right around the 12-yard line. So good job by Andrew Potts there.
And you probably couldn't hear on the cast, but they were down to about 2 seconds left on the play clock. Adena looked like they jumped across the line. So there's a bunch of yelling from the sideline there, but Andrew Potts kept a good focus, caught the snap, and punted it, got a nice high punt, got the fair catch. You'll settle for a 12, or for the ball being on the 12. That gives your defense a lot of room to work with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left.
So big chance here for the Tigers to go into the halftime break with a lead if they can stop the Warriors as they are looking to get their way into the end zone here, but they've got a march to go. This time the handoff will go to number 3. That'll be Clay Rollins.
And that would be a gain of 2 for Mr. Rollins. So the Adena Warriors are looking to establish the run here, still deep. Makes you kind of question, are they going to throw it? Because here you have 86 yards to go, 2 minutes left on the play clock, with another team that doesn't really like to throw too much either. So do you take a chance and air it out here? What do you think there, Mr. Weeks?
Well, I don't want to speculate too much, but I would imagine if you are Adena, you just want to make sure you're going into halftime moving the ball forward. I think that's the big thing right now. They've seen a lot of 3 and outs. They just want to get a little bit of success before they make their way into the locker room.
Success as 34 runs down. He's down at the 40. He's crossing the 50. He's at the 45, 40, 35, and chased down by Seth Wise with a touchdown-saving tackle. That is a very big play. That is exactly, if you're an Adena Warrior fan out there, that is exactly what Adena's looking for here late in the half. Now, the question is, are they able to punch it in and bring this game to a 12-14 or a 14-14 game? Great job there by Seth Wise, not giving up on the play, and it looks like Coach Orzodi is going to take a timeout and gather themselves. So with a minute and 41 seconds left, a huge play by Adena gets the ball down to the McClain 27 for a 1st and 10. So what do you say here if you're in that huddle there?
I say right now you have to say we bent, but we didn't break. We can allow them to gain yards, but we can't allow them to gain points here with about 1:41 left on this second quarter clock going into halftime. It's okay to give up yards. Yards don't count on the scoreboard.
Absolutely. You can have 500 yards and 0 points and still lose the game, which would be a terrible, terrible stat line to have. But you can, I mean, you're absolutely right. It's all about, can you punch it in? Can you get a field goal? Can you get a touchdown here? If the McLean defense can stop them here, think about that. Now we had a huge momentum swing for Adena. If the McLean defense can get a stop here and that clock goes out, that would be a fantastic talking point there in the halftime locker room.
And one of the big pieces that we see, especially going into halftime for a lot of teams, is the team that scores just before half really carries a lot of momentum into the locker room, and that goes with them into the second half. So if the Tigers can pull a big stop here, that would be huge. This time Britton takes from his shotgun position, rolls right. Seth Wise in the backfield along with Andrew Potts. No gain on the play.
That's the job of the corner out there. If the ball is spilled out to the corner, his job is to turn it back in. Now, Coach Orzodi's philosophy when I was coaching with him was spill things to the outside. I think that's starting to change where they want to keep things inside and force it to where your linebackers are. Your linebackers are designed to make the majority of your tackles. You don't want those corners out there making your tackles, because if a corner misses a tackle, it's bad news bears.
And so the Warriors' second down clock running, 1:15 now as it ticks away near the 60-second mark going into halftime. This time, Britton is out. The pass by backup quarterback. That'll be number 7, the junior Andrew Vickers.
So the pass went high there. They tried to air it out a little bit with Andrew Vickers passing the ball. Dakota Bartram there on the defense, he told me, that was Max Eikenberry. But Dakota Bartram told me today that he was looking to get his first interception. I told him if he got a pick 6, he'd get a free pizza donated by Mr. Weeks.
Well, thank you so much for volunteering that.
Hey, it's all about inspiring the kids, man.
I tell you, you are such a giver.
I am a fantastic inspiration to many.
Well, Dakota Bartram on the short side of the field.
So it's timeout there by McClain with 1:06 left. Adena's looking at a 3rd and 11 with the ball on the 28-yard line. I don't think Coach Zodi, the defensive coordinator, liked what he saw, so he said, hey, we got these timeouts to use. Might as well use them. Can't take those home. So he's getting in there in the middle. He's talking. He's creating a strategy, telling the boys exactly where they need to be. Now, with that incomplete pass at the line of scrimmage last play, Adena put themselves behind schedule. So now if they're looking to get a first down, I would say this is obviously 2-down territory.
For sure.
So if I'm Adena's coach, I'm looking to take off 4 to 5 yards. I don't think you take 2 shots at the end zone. It's not that type of game right now. So it's possible to have a run play. I mean, you can even go back to Gabe Stark, the senior, and see what he can get. He's a big boy out there, big 3-4, rumbling, stumbling. So, I mean, he got him down here. Why not give him the ball? He might be the hot hand tonight for the Adena Warriors.
He has the biggest gain from scrimmage for the blue and white this evening, and he stays on the sideline. They will go into what looks to be like a power pistol type look.
Pistol backfield.
This time, Britton looks to pass across the middle. Well received there. Number 8 with the reception. He bounces off
and
a couple
touchdown
into the end zone. Wow.
So that is the junior Mason Dyer with a huge score for the Adena Warriors with 58 seconds left. Adena brings it to 12-14. So sadly for the McLean Tigers, they bent, and Adena was able to punch it in. Off that huge run by Gabe Stark, that is a lot of momentum going into halftime. So we'll see what Coach Orzotti can draw up at halftime. What do you think? Do you think they take a shot or two at the end zone? Do they go into a hurry-up offense? That would probably be what I would do.
I could say as long as ball control is there, you can really do anything you want because they do have the ball coming out after the half. Adena will likely look to go for 2 here as they went for 2 before and were unsuccessful on that previous point after attempt. So they're looking to draw even as our score is 14-12. And it looks like there will be a timeout called by the Tigers, their 3rd of the half,
McClain
as they see the lineup that Adena was going to bring out.
And if I'm Adena, I'm at halftime, I'm talking to the coaches. I look at going over the middle again. If McClain is bringing up their linebackers and no one's dropping there into that middle area, I throw it there again. So that could be a gap in the McClain defense that Adena looks to exploit here in the second half. As you said, McClain's coaching staff takes their 3rd and final timeout of the half. That's the thing, is you're not taking them home. You might as well use them. If you don't see something with 58 seconds left, chances are you're not going to use that last timeout.
The big thing we see right now for the Tigers is they gave up some points here, but they still have a little bit of time on the clock. If they can keep these 2 off the board, that would be big going into half. At least a little bit of a victory and keeping the margin there at more than even or more than 1.
And that's the thing. A victory is a victory. A small victory is still a victory. It's something that you can build on. So with the Adena really struggling to get an offense going on their last drive, they're able to punch it in. So we'll see what they do here on for the 2-point conversion.
So the lineup once again in that pistol rolling right is Britton. Makes his way out, pass, and it is knocked away. Max Eikenberry gets a paw on it.
Great defense there by Max Eikenberry. He had the choice. Is he going to step up and guard the quarterback as he moves forward? And he stayed with the receiver and trusted the guys in front of him to force that pass. When he did, he didn't try to intercept it, just knocked it down, made the sure play. And that's the type of defense you are looking for in your young players. Now McLean will look to receive this kickoff, Adena's second kickoff of the half. The score is 14-12 with 58 seconds left. Last time the McLean kickoff return team was out there, they had Seth Wise in the deepest position with Landon Eubanks and Max Eikenberry just in front of them. So we'll see if Adena decides to kick it deep or if they're going to have another squib kick. Coach Rich Bivens looks like he's in charge of the special teams. I have done that before, and anyone who is listening who has been a coach knows that that is one of the hardest places to coach at on the football sidelines, because your special teams players are usually scattered all over the place, and it's sometimes really, really hard to get to 11 players. There's been many times where I just start grabbing kids off the sideline saying, hey, you're on the field. So McLean comes out in the kickoff return position, and Adena is looking to kick it with another squib kick to the far sideline. That'll be Max Eikenberry picking it up and falling on it for the safe return.
McWhorter, the kicker there.
So McLean will be starting with the ball on what looks like the 24-yard line. So with 56 seconds left, we'll see if Coach Orzotti elects to go for a point or if he's just going to take a 2-point lead into the locker room. We have Andrew Potts once again in the backfield with Caden Pinwell and Trevor Stonerock in your H and Z positions right there on the wings, with Max Eikenberry and Seth Wise splitting out for your wide receivers.
So they bring out all of the horses in the stable here, so maybe looking to either just have ball security or pound one in. This time they give it to Andrew Potts, and he will go forward, but not for much more than about 2.
So this is where we'll see, are they getting back on the line, or are they taking their time? Oh, looks like we were wrong. Coach Orzotti must have 4 timeouts. I'm just kidding. That's not in the rules. We must have missed a timeout somewhere. So Coach Orzotti takes another timeout with 43 seconds. This one is his last one of the half. So Coach Orzotti's talking to the guys right above us, trying to figure out, what do we want to do here? Do we air the ball out, or do we go up in a hurry-up offense? You got to think that a football play lasts from 4 to 6 seconds. So with 43 seconds left, you can get 7 plays. What are you going to do with 7 plays? So you can pass it 7 times. The problem with running it, or if you catch it in bounds, is that clock will start running once the ball is set. If you don't get a first down, that clock's going to keep running. So we're going to keep a close eye on that clock. It really dictates how Coach Orzotti is going to attack this game here. So with 43 seconds left, McLean has the ball on the 25-yard line. They're looking at a 2nd and long 8. Braden Wright steps back, passes it to Seth Wise, a little too far with 3-4 seconds off the play clock. So that was a quick pass, quick play, 4 seconds off the play clock. The clock is stopped, and McLean has 3rd and 8. So now what you do is you decide, because now it's on the shoe's on the other foot. Do we run the play clock out and go into halftime, or do we possibly risk a 4th down, punting it to the other team, where now they control the clock?
And I think if you were going to go for it there, that was the time to do it. But unfortunately, no gain on the play, and it stops the clock. They're on their side of the field, and this time they will look to give, but this time Wright pulls, reads, get hit, and then
so the
goes
clock
forward.
Will stop at 30 seconds as they move the sticks forward. So McLean will have a breather, but Braden Wright's doing a great job telling everyone, we're going to spike the ball, get on the line. It doesn't matter how many men are on the line, but you have to have enough on the line to spike the ball. So you can get a penalty for not having enough guys on the line. Braden Wright steps up, spikes the ball. We have 25 seconds left. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 with the ball on the 37-yard line. It looks like 38-yard line. Like I said, 25 seconds left, 2nd and 10. So now they could take a breather and run an actual play and see what they want. And with Braden Wright's legs, he has the ability to score right now. So it's one of those things.
If they can get outside with Wright, or maybe even someone like Stonerock or Penwell here, and get some green grass in front of them, they have a chance. This time the pitch faked, dump
Gets
pass.
it to Potts.
Andrew Potts
should probably be
looks
looking
to get out of
out.
bounds, and he
Good,
does.
good.
Knocked out by McCorder.
So the clock will stop at 18 seconds left. Andrew Potts, a very, very smart move there, keeping it really close to the sideline and stepping out right before that guy hits him. So Andrew Potts once again stepping up big for the Tigers. We now have 18 seconds left with the ball on the 47-yard line. Braden Wright under center as he looks at the play clock, make sure everybody's set, gets the snap, steps back.
Snap, throw.
Two-step drop. Tries to get it to Seth Wise.
Just up and out, but too far outside of the reach.
So it looks like McLean, they haven't really shown too much in the passing game right now. They're just running, it's called double fades, where both of your receivers just run straight down the sideline. So they're looking to try to beat them over top. At this point, it's hard to say because Adena knows it's coming. They're dropping back in cover 4 defense. They know that McLean's going to pass it here.
What do we think about of possibly a draw here?
You can run a draw here, but the problem with that is if one of those D linemen get through, they're going to stop it. So Braden Wright throws it over to the middle to Seth Wise once again, and it is too far. So if you look at Braden Wright, you got to think back to last year. He was dropping back into 3-step drops. It was really hard for last year's line to hold their blocks long enough, and that's when he got popped. Do you think that Braden Wright getting rid of the ball this quickly could harken back to, him hearing footsteps behind him?
Possibly the ghost of years past maybe playing a factor here, but I think more than anything just the clock, the biggest enemy, as they're looking to get it into the end zone and trying to force the issue maybe a little bit too much. The Tigers with 10 seconds now, 3rd and 10 for McClain, maybe 1 or 2 shots at most. They will bring trips off to the right with a stack.
Trips.
Pass is deep.
And out of bounds, about 5 yards out of bounds. Looks like we could have a penalty pass interference on the defense. That moves the ball with the clock not moving. We have 5 seconds left. So we're going to have a pass interference on Adena. So that'll be 15 yards. And McClain will be looking at it with the ball on right around the 32, if I'm correct. Math is really hard for me sometimes, especially this late in the night. So we have a first down for McClain as the sticks move. It'll allow the receivers to catch their breath. And we're looking at maybe 1 shot.
Right now,
As far back as they are, this is probably going to be the last play of the quarter. So Adena's dropping back in very obvious cover 4. They're in what's called a prevent defense.
Trip stacks on the left side. That's the way Braden Wright will look. Airs it out deep.
Oh
my goodness!
What a catch by Seth Wise!
Way.
It is tipped up by Max Eichenberry with Seth Wise trailing behind it. Snags it right before it touches the ground. What a great catch by the senior Seth Wise. What a great catch, and that's why you do it. So now they're moving into the halftime with a score maybe 21-12. Max Eichenberry, what a smart play. He's fallen back. All he does is do the little volleyball tip. Seth Wise trailing behind it with that stacks, scoops it up right before it touches the grass and walks it into the end zone.
Oh, little alley-oop action there, I tell you.
You cannot ask for a better way to go into the half. What a great play. What a great throw by Braden Wright to put it right on that pylon. Great job by everyone involved.
And you talk about the momentum. That's a big one there.
So McClain's going into the halftime after a missed low field goal by Camden Yates. It looked like it got touched at the line. So it is 20-12 at the halftime.
And we will turn it over to the bands. So we'll have Adena up first, and then McClain, your marching Tigers and Tigerettes after that. But for right now, we'll turn it over to the fine folks here with the Adena Marching Warriors.
welcome the Adena Marching Warriors under the field command of Ruth Beery. We hope you enjoy this season's contest show entitled A Night at the Cinema, which includes music from Star Wars, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Disney's Tarzan.
Let's hear it once again for the Adena Marching Warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, we proudly present the pride of Highland County, the McLean Marching Tigers and Tigerettes. The band is under the direction of Blaine Weddington, assisted by Jared Homer and David Weeks. The Tigerettes are advised by Toddy Weeks, and our majorette advisor is Ashley Barnes. Our majorettes are Leah Evans, Skylar Mazo, Addison Smith, and Joanna Kelly. Our Tigerette co-captains are Blythe Bolander and Abby Mustard, with head captain J.C. Olaker. Our assistant field commanders are Ava Calhoun and Garrett George, and our 2021 field commander is Abby Everhart. The 2000s were rich with pop, punk, rock, with catchy riffs and infectious lyrics. We start tonight with a sugary and sweet tune to tap your feet with. This Paramore number charted number 8 on Billboard's Hot Rock Songs in 2013. Here is Still Into You. Tigerettes. Watch as they smile, sparkle, and shake to a Fall Out Boy tune that hit number 1 in 2015. Here is Uma Thurman. close our portion of halftime with an upbeat rockabilly tune from the band Jet. This platinum seller is sure to get you on your feet. Here is Are You Gonna Be My Girl?
And we welcome you back here at our halftime period. We got just about 10 seconds left in the regular halftime period, and they'll give about 3 more minutes on the warm-up clock after that. So we welcome you back here. 20-12, your score, as the Tigers will have a lead going into the second half of play. And it's a great feeling to be not only back in the stadium, but back in the stadium with lots of people wearing purple and gold here on the home sides and plenty to cheer about. Before we keep moving on, we want to go ahead and recognize some of our sponsors. We go through and read everyone in the stadium and also on the stream, so we try to get all of our sponsors in there. But this year, we want to go ahead and recognize a few of our sponsors a little bit more than what we did last year in just reading names. So we're going to get a few each game. So if you are a sponsor, don't worry, you are upcoming. But we will do about 8 per game that we are streaming this year. So for our halftime and first half sponsors, we want to say thank you, big thank you to Collin Septic LLC. Collin Septic has been serving Fayette and the surrounding counties with complete septic tank and restaurant grease trap cleaning, along with riser installation and portable restroom rental for many years. Collin Septic is your number one in the number 2 business. Call 740-606-8436 to reach Collin Septic for more information. We also say a big thank you to Parrott Insurance Agency for all of your auto, home, farm, life, and many more insurance needs. You can call them at area code 740-335-6081 to get a quote for your insurance needs. A big thank you to Jim Van Dyke's Automotive Service Center. They've been family owned and operated. This auto repair shop and tire center is located in Washington Courthouse, and they've been there since 2001. Jim's been in the business for 40 years and has always taken great pride in keeping up with the latest technology. They love the Southern Ohio community and are pleased to be your trusted auto repair facility. To schedule an appointment, you can contact them at 740-335-2000. And we say thank you to another local business, Sims Family Golf and Recreation Center. Over 16 acres for your fun and pleasure. Sims has 10 mat hitting units along with plenty of grass hitting available. Along with that, they have a beautiful 4,000 square foot putting area and bunkers on both sides so that you can perfect your short game. Stop in today on Scenic Hall Road just outside of Greenfield to hit a few buckets of balls or get a hold of Sharon Sims for golf lessons. And Coach Snyder, I'm pretty sure that if I were to stop in there, even though it's just a practice facility, I would likely find the bunkers around that nice putting green area.
Listen, it's not about what you can't do. It's about what you can. So if you are good at finding the bunkers, build on that. That's nothing to be ashamed of. You're practicing, you're getting better, and you're finding the bunkers just in case they lose them.
I don't know if we're actually getting better in anything that I do.
But you're having fun.
But I can tell you with certainty that wherever I hit, it will probably be not where I was aiming. But we say thank you to those great sponsors. Once again, Collin Septic, Parrott Insurance Agency, Jim Van Dyke's Automotive Service Center, and Sims Family Golf and Recreation Center. And we'll have some more sponsors a little bit later here as we get ready to get the second half underway.
Adena starts with an onside kick with number 15.
And I believe that'll
Josiah
be
Burchett
Josiah
catching
Burchett
it.
receiving.
Hey, they're trying to get that ball back, trying to get that momentum that they had going there for a while. So McClain will be taking over the ball at the 48-yard line. So good field position for the McClain football team to start off the second half. Kind of looking back at the keys to the game, McClain came out with an excellent level of intensity, and they were able to remain steady both on the offense and on the defense. It's a football game. They're going to score. The other team's going to score points. They allowed that long drive, that long run, and Adena punched it in. But what an exciting end to that first half with Seth Wise catching that touchdown.
It was definitely a very exciting first half. Points on both sides by some plays that may have been a little bit unconventional. The Tigers scoring on 2 plays on the ground, and then that last tip drill to Seth Wise to go into the half. And Adena able to score on a fumble return on a short field, and then through the air on a quick slant. Number 8, I believe that would be Dyer, or if I'm remembering correctly, yes, Mason Dyer on the reception there from his quarterback, Mr. Britton, Garrett Britton, number 12, throwing the pass there. So 2 scores for Adena, 3 for McClain, and now this second down pitch goes to Potts for McClain, stopped in the backfield.
So the first play was a run up the middle that was stopped for next to no gain. The second play was a toss to the right side, which ended up in about a 5-yard loss. So now McClain's looking at 3rd and 14, maybe 3rd and 15. So now they got to figure out what do you want to do with the double sticks, and that's a problem with running that triple option offense that sometimes teams run into. If you don't get those positive yards and you get behind schedule, especially if you're in a double stick situation like this, what do? Because you practice the run. This is an obvious passing down.
And they go to what looks to be a very tight formation. Eikenberry on the left. On the right is Seth Wise. Pass this time, dump pass to Potts, and it is just a little low as Wright had to be hurried there. Bounces off the knee pads of Mr. Andrew Potts, and it will be a 4th down for McClain.
So if you were watching that play there, you saw as Mason Dyer hit Braden Wright, he kind of rolled around on the ground. Looks like as the temperatures are dropping, the humidity is picking up, cramping might be an issue this second half. So McClain has a 3 and out to start the second half. Andrew Potts drops back to punt the ball away to number 5.
He'll loosen up the
Caden
right
McWhorter.
leg. Low snap, but he's able to get it off the turf.
And it looks like it was touched by Adena. They got to be careful. McWhorter picks it up and advances it about 10 yards before he's forced out of bounds. So Adena is starting with the ball on their 45-yard line. With 10:19 left, again, we have the score of 20-12. McClain leading, and Adena is looking for their first possession of the second half. Correction, the ball is starting on the 43-yard line. So not quite the start that Coach Orzotti was looking for at the second half, was it?
A 3 and out there, getting a little bit behind the sticks on a couple plays. Passing on 3rd down, falling incomplete as Wright had to be rushed a little bit there. And they'll look to try to get things back on track and hopefully stop the Warriors here on the defensive side of things. Handoff.
And once again, Luke Doomey in the backfield meets the ball carrier in the hole at the line of scrimmage, and that looks like they're going to give him a loss of a full yard. So now we're looking at 2nd and 11 with the ball on the 42. Luke. Correction, Camden Yates. Sorry, that is a correction. Camden Yates. Regardless, it is great to see the McClain Tigers meeting the runners at the line of scrimmage rather than waiting until they get to that second level of the linebackers. Great play there by Camden Yates.
So looking at this 3-4 defense are the Warriors behind the sticks. Once again, going to Rawlings, and Max Eikenberry does a great job coming up from his corner position and stops what would be a nice gain for about only 4.
Now, if you see there Landon Eubanks, if we had an instant replay and we could use that yellow marker thingy, we would be able to draw up that Landon Eubanks was washed upfield too deep into the backfield, and that ball went right under there. So that is a problem when you want to pin your ears back and get in that backfield. A blocker will just let you get right up there, and the ball runner will run underneath. So now we're looking at 3rd and 7, ball on the 45-yard line as Adena looks to get their first down of the half.
And so Adena will line up. 3rd down, looks to be about 7 to go. Snap taken by Britton. Swing pass to the right. Rawlings has it, and he is tackled before he can reach the line to gain.
So he was not able to get across the 50 there, so we are at 4th and 4. So we'll see what Adena does here. 4th and 3 maybe.
49-yard line. He is brought down. Brings up 4th down.
So now we had a stop by the Adena defense, a stop by the McClain defense, and we'll see if this turns into a defensive struggle. It could be, I mean, it's a one-score game, so it could turn into a possession game, a battle of field position. So it might be 10 yards this way, pin them deep. And then defense got to try to keep them deep, so then next time you're on offense, you have better field position.
Ball just a yard off of the midfield stripe, and they look to go into that kind of modified look and then drop back into the punt. High arching kick into the lights, get out of the way, takes a bounce sideways, and will be down.
Caleb Osborne got into that one, didn't he? That
Yes,
one was
he
up
did.
there in the lights. So McClain will take over after a high arching punt by Caleb Osborne, where Max Eichenberry told everyone to get away. McClain will be starting with the ball on their 25-yard line. Braden Wright gets the play call in from Jake Orzotti, and they're going to see if they can get on that schedule, keep ahead of that schedule. I always told them, 3.5 yards is what you're shooting for.
And so the Tigers will have their second possession here of the second half, going 3 and out on the first, and the Warriors not really doing a whole lot else, so not a whole lot of time off the clock. This time the handoff goes to Potts on the first down carry. Gain on the play, probably a gain of about 4.
There we go. They're on schedule. So a gain of, it looks like 4, so it's going to move to 2nd and 6. So the ball is on the 29-yard line. That's what you want. You want run after run like that, where it's low contact, your running back's getting right behind your lineman, and you're just pushing forward for those 4 yards.
And I would say Potts right now probably creeping up toward that 20-carry area for the night. He's had 1 touchdown to his name thus far, and it will be Wright pulling
pulls it
this time. Bounces
and
off
it
of
looks
a
like
tackler.
he got the first down.
He will pick up the first down. That'll move the sticks for the Tigers.
And you're talking about the amount of carries that Andrew Potts has had. Having coached him, having talked to him, I know that kid could have 40 carries, and as long as the team still needs him, he's going to be telling the coach, give me the rock. I'm still in. That kid will not pull himself out of game at any situation. So that's what you're looking for with your athletes. You want them to want the ball. McLean Tigers this year have a lot of players that want the ball. There's a different type of intensity so far in this game. And it looks like Potts gets the ball again, gets met in the hole, and it's those huge tree legs of his. He just keeps them churning, and he pushes the defender on his back. So he gets a pickup of about 3 yards. It looks like we're going to go into 2nd and 7 with the ball on the 40-yard line.
40-yard line,
Yep,
yes.
my apologies.
That's okay. It's hard to tell from here sometimes with the angle that we have.
Oh, yeah. Up in the sky, looking down. Yeah, it gets hard sometimes.
That's okay. 40-yard line, the back nose of the ball. Tigers with a 2nd and 3 that they're looking at here. Penwell in motion. This time counter looking to Stone Rock, and they will do a good job of penetrating into the backfield. Big number 64 will have the tackle there on Stone Rock.
Stone Rock looks a little slow to get up. He's limping back to the huddle as he comes off the field. We are going to have Luke Landon Eubanks replacing him at the H position. So I did see Trevor Stone Rock talking to the trainer a little bit as they're coming out of halftime. He was pointing to his left knee, the outside of his left knee, and that's right where he was holding once he got up from that play.
Yeah, he kind of mimicking that he got hit on the outside of that knee as he was taken down. And so the trainer will kind of have a little chat with him. Right under center. Looks to pass this time.
Fade
floats
pass to
one
Seth
up.
Wise.
Seth Wise
50-50
goes
ball,
up,
and it
50-50,
looks like it could be an interception.
And they will confer.
They're saying it hit the ground.
They say it hit the ground.
With those 50-50 balls and someone as tall as Seth Wise, you really got to hope that he can go up and get that. So now it's 4th and 7, and McClain will be looking to punt. I think that was a very solid call by the officiating crew, and I'm sure Braden Wright is very thankful for it, regardless.
I do agree, yeah. He doesn't like a lot of incompletions, but I think he'll take that one.
Yep, absolutely. And you got to think, if they're trying to spread the field deep with these 1-2 drops, it's hard for the patterns to develop. It's 1, 2, 3, throw. Braden Wright needs a little more time back there, maybe a 3, 5 drop in order to allow those routes to develop. And Potts grabs the ball, gets into it, punts it pretty far down to the 20. It's dropped, it's muffed, and Landon Eubanks with the recovery on the 18.
Wow, my
that is
goodness.
Fantastic. Good for that senior. Hustling down there, grabbing that ball. Great job by Landon Eubanks. So McClain's offense will take back over with the ball on the 18-yard line. So that was quarterback Garrett Britton back there trying to call for the fair catch as he was backpedaling, and he just muffed the ball. Now, if you're a coach, you tell your players, you always start deep and run up on the ball. He was backpedaling, misstep, dropped the ball. Landon Eubanks, I mean, right there, once it hit the ground.
And you would think, you know, for receiving a punt, you would think, oh, well, it's just like playing center field, but it's not. It's a knuckleball coming at you every single time.
Absolutely. And you got to add to it. And you got to add to it that you got 11 guys coming down to try to tackle you. So there's a lot going on a punt and punt return. So we have a 7-yard gain by Andrew Potts there. Once again, the workhorse gets the tote, and he moves the ball forward. It looks like there was a little bit of activity after the play there, so Coach Orzoti's going to take the senior Trevor Stonerock out, give him a little breather, let him collect himself.
Toward the end of the looked like toward the end of the play there, Stonerock, who did not have the ball, was kind of knocked to the turf by one of the Warriors, and the sideline for McClain throws up a hand going, isn't that unnecessary?
And Potts with the ball. He looks to the end zone, and he gets
Weaves in.
Brings the ball from 12 yards out, gets another touchdown for the sophomore, and moves it 26-12. Your workhorses, that's you're going to start seeing bigger and bigger carries out of that backfield as this triple option offense wears down the defense of Adena. Great job by Andrew Potts, and Coach Orzoti is going back to one of those keys of the game. He's sticking to the battle plan.
And we heard that in the pregame. Great key back up for you. Your buzz coming in handy there, and the crowd here in McLean Stadium is buzzing as the Tigers have a lead now of more than one score. Eikenberry to hold, Yates to kick, puts it up low, blocked, no good, and our score will stay at 26-12.
That was a good snap, good kick, just didn't get up over the line. So the kick was no good from Emerson Yates, excuse me. So that'll make the score 26-12 with 4 minutes and 53 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. As the McLean kickoff team gets down there and gets ready to kick the ball off, you got to look. One of the unsung heroes of this game, or I guess there's 5 of them, is the line for McLean. Now, a lot of people have been saying that they're undersized, but here with the triple option offense, they're very quick plays. They don't take long to develop. So you don't really need a big line. In fact, you more or less want a quick, smaller line to get to those blocks. Because anytime you're holding a block over a second and a half, you start walking into that area where you get a holding. So it kind of works to McLean's favor, these smaller, quicker linemen that they have, and you're seeing it pay off in dividends with the run game.
And we see the Tigers now getting the first opportunity to go with a 2-possession lead into the latter part of this third quarter. 4:53 on the clock as Yates will tee it up. What can you say more about the Tigers than just fighting through adversity? We saw it at the end of the first half with a big play by Seth Wise, and now getting the muffed punt and capitalizing on that by Andrew Potts getting into the end zone for the second time tonight.
Absolutely. Emerson Yates kicks it down. There's a muff on the return. When we say muff, we mean it's juggled. It's hit by the return team, and it's pushed forward, but the Adena Warriors are able to recover it, and so they're going to take over on offense right around their own 26, 27-yard line. So the McLean defense is moving out. They've done a very, very successful job today of holding and shutting down this Adena offense outside of the couple big runs. So as we move here into the third quarter, what would you say McLean needs to do to continue this success?
I think the big thing right now, as you said before, stay steady. You don't need to get ahead of yourself right now. You just need to keep playing within what you've been doing well.
Absolutely, as Trevor Stonerock meets the running back in the backfield once again. Trevor Stonerock starting to develop quite the game. He's playing through that injury as well as the little bit of extracurricular after there. That's what you look for your seniors for, is that steadiness on the mental side, not only physical but mental. So he's adjusted to the game, and he's still making a great impact for the McLean Tigers.
And these linebackers are doing a great job. This 3-4 defense, even though it doesn't really look like a 3-4 necessarily once they line up, it's that three-man front and then that fourth linebacker, Landon Eubanks, a lot of time coming in on the end to stand up and get a little bit of speed there to kind of give fits to the line. Pass behind the line could have been a lateral, but they call it incomplete.
So incomplete there will bring up 3rd and 10 for the Adena Warriors. Cade Sponsel coming out with Emerson Yates going back in to play that middle linebacker position. So now this is a pretty clear passing down. It is questionable as to what Adena is going to do. Or they still have that middle. They haven't tested that middle since that long touchdown pass at the end of the second half or first half. So they're backing up into the shotgun position.
Britton takes a snap from the shotgun, rolls to his right, looking to pass. Landon Eubanks puts a hit on him. It is complete, but not very much of a gain, about gain of 2, and that won't be enough to move the sticks.
And in that situation, you let everything underneath you go. I mean, that's if they complete it, they complete it. But the key to that is not letting them get past the first down. So Coach Orzodi and Coach Zodi are okay with letting those passes underneath go as long as we don't get beat deep in that deep to our mid to deep range.
And they did a nice job there of just staying with the receivers, not letting anything get behind them. And they will have a 4th and 9 or 4th and 8 here that the Warriors are looking at, and will punt. Kicked away, high, arching. Once again, get out of the way. Takes a bad hop for the Warriors. Good for the Tigers here. Comes back the other way, stays in Warrior territory, and McLean will have it right around the 40-yard line.
Now I'm starting to see a little bit of a pattern that Coach Orzodi might need to address is when they're yelling, get away from it. Even the guys that were your front runners or your D linemen, they're still jogging back towards the ball. Once they start saying get away from it, you literally turn 180 degrees and run the other way. So the McLean Tigers take over on offense once again at the 41-yard line of the Adena Warriors. Braden Wright gets the play call in. It looks like McClain is missing a fullback. Aaron
yes.
Doomey steps in.
So Luke Doomey lines
or
up.
Luke Doomey, sorry.
Aaron Luke, yeah. And he will not get it. But there is a flag, so preliminary action. We'll see what they call it here, maybe an illegal shift.
Right on the keeper. No gain on the play. Flag.
No flag.
They waved off the flag. No penalty.
So the penalty is waved off. It looks like Braden Wright being tackled at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10. Little confusion there for the McLean Tigers offense. I don't know if Andrew Potts let Luke Doomey know that he was coming out or where the miscommunication was, but it's things like that that you can't have happen in games where you're up 26-12.
And so the Tigers have it 2nd down and about 9.5. Wright fakes the pitch, rolls out, pass, incomplete, intended for Doomey, falls to the turf. So that'll bring up 3rd down.
The pass by Wright, incomplete, and intended for number 27, Doomey.
We got Andrew Potts checking back in at the fullback position. So McLean is sitting at 3rd and 9 on their 40-yard line. I'd say that this, once again, is 4-down territory. So Coach Orzodi might be looking to get about half of that distance right now, get it into a 4th and 5, 4th and 4 situation that opens back up the playbook. So I wouldn't be surprised here if, against traditional play calls, Coach Orzodi decides to go with a run here to chunk it down, because if they don't get anywhere, then they can look to punt it. So Braden Wright passes, and we got a false start on, it looks like, Max Eichenberry. So the McLean Tigers will be marching back 5 yards. It'll make it 3rd and 14. Now with the ball on the 45-yard line, it does change the play call. So Coach Orzotti will probably be calling something new in, and Dakota Bartram gets called back by Coach Orzotti. The McLean Tigers break the huddle. They do look like they might be running a little low on the play clock. Braden Wright with the snap. Design quarterback draw. Braden Wright gets maybe a yard before he's taken down, which will make it 4th and 14. I imagine that we will be seeing the McClain punt team come out as they try to pin the Adena Warriors deep in their own territory. We are at 26-12 with 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. The ball is in McLean Tigers' possession as they get ready to punt the ball. Looking at 4th and 14, the ball on the 44-yard line. Seth Wise, the long snapper, will be snapping it back to Andrew Potts as he's ready to punt the ball away. Deep to number 5. Andrew Potts gets the ball away, and it rolls into the end zone for an Adena Warriors touchback.
The punt bounces into the end zone. That'll be a touchback. Adena will take over on the 20. First and 10.
So now we're going to get to see the McLean defense again.
Get ready to get on your feet. We've got a wave starting in the student section.
So McLean defense heads back out with 2:25 left in the 3rd quarter. It's kind of been a struggle for Adena to get anything moving on offense this second half. I would attribute that to a lot of that free flowing of the linebackers for the McLean Tigers as they're meeting the ball at the line of scrimmage and not letting any forward momentum develop. Now, as their eyes start to move to the backfield, I would look for Adena. If I'm on Adena's side, I'm looking for a play call over the middle, nice little wide dump. So McLean, even though that they're having a lot of success bringing that high heat, they need to make sure they stay home, read their assignments, and make sure they don't get beat deep or over the middle.
So the Tigers will be back on defense. Adena walks their offense out with about 2:25 here left in the 3rd quarter. Still plenty of time on the clock, but a 2-score game as the Tigers lead 26-12 in the second half. Britton in the pistol formation, what looks to be a strong pistol. This time, handoff goes.
Fumble. We got a
ball
fumble,
on the turf.
and it looks like it might go right back into Adena's hands, but great job by the McLean defense getting that ball loose. It took an Adena bounce and went right back into one of their players' hands.
Run by the Warriors. Ball hits the turf. Covered by the white shirts of the Warriors.
So now we're looking at 2nd and 6 with the ball on Adena's 24 with just under 2 minutes left here. That was a little bit of forward momentum created by that positive run by Gabe Stark, the senior for the Adena Warriors.
Big number 34 has a good run to his name earlier in the first half. He's looking to add to that here next. Britton with the fake.
Over the middle?
Over the middle, just outside the reach. He had him wide open.
Now, if you think back just a few seconds ago, I said the McLean Tigers need to make sure they're playing their assignments, that safety's not getting nosy and nudging up in. Had that pass been on, there wouldn't have been much stopping Mason Dyer from walking into the end zone. So hopefully that's a wake-up call for the McLean Tigers in saying that don't get your eyes in the backfield. Don't be watching that play action. Read your guards, make sure you take care of your assignment, and then the game will take care of itself.
And the Warriors will break the huddle once again, getting into that pistol formation. This time they have number 3, Clay Rawlings, deep in that pistol formation. Britton calls out a little bit of motion. Looking to the right, over deep, well wide open.
And
reception by Dyer, and he's up the right side, takes a little hop into the middle of the field, right about the numbers, and brought down just inside the 20-yard line, right around the 16.
So Adena's taking a couple shots deep there, and that is successful. Moves the ball down to the McClain 16-yard line. So now Adena's looking to test that McClain secondary, and they're getting a little bit of time in that backfield.
And the rollout to the right there helping a lot for Britton through a well-timed pass.
Start on that far side. It looks like that is junior Caden McWhorter moving a little early. So that'll move the Adena Warriors back 5. It'll be 1st and 15, ball on the 21-yard line. We got a minute 17 left here in the third quarter as McClain is hanging on to a 26-12 lead.
The clock ticking away here, nearing the 1 minute mark, as you mentioned, here in the third quarter. They line up once again in that strong pistol formation. Rawlings
and
deep, but this time it's handed.
Drops it off to Gabe Stark once again, who might get a yard or two, but is met in the backfield. So that creates, once again, a 2nd and 14, 2nd and 15. McClain's doing a great job of meeting the Adena Warriors up in the hole, at the line of scrimmage. But it's the big plays so far that have been their Achilles heel.
And the clock keeps ticking here. Now we're under 30 seconds at 24, now 23. Clock still ticking. Calling out the formation is Britton. He will keep. Flag is thrown.
That will probably be 2 men in motion at the same time, which will be a penalty on the Adena Warriors, as we had Gabe Stark moving behind the line, and then number 3 in the backfield doing that deep motion at the same time. So we get an illegal shift, which will move the Adena Warriors back once again. So, I mean, there's times where your defense stands strong, and then there's times where the offense helps you out.
And it looks like they are walking over to see will they accept, and I believe that they, well, it's hard to tell. Are they walking it off or not? The white hat still coming over, and Coach Orzodi out on the numbers.
And the penalty is declined. So it looks like it'll be 3rd and 14. So they will take the play, and it's 3rd and 14 from the McClain 20-yard line with 16 seconds left here in the third. Adena is threatening, but they have a long down and distance to complete here.
Britton in the gun, shift across. This time handed. Rawlings runs through one, cuts his way back inside. He'll be brought down
at the
right around the 12, maybe?
Yep, right around the 12. I was going to guess the 11. That'll take it to 4th and 6. So the question to the new coach over there on the Adena sideline, Brian Grigsby, is do you go for it here? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious at this game situation, this close, unless you have a kicker, you're going for it. So we'll see if Adena has a kicker. Judging by the fact that they haven't gone for a field goal yet out of the PAT, my guess is they're going for it here. What do you think?
We put a 1200 on the clock and go into the fourth with a lead. I think if you're Adena, you're going to have to probably push.
Absolutely. And there's, I mean, if you look at the situation, we're not punting here. So now the question is, do you go to that passing game that you've just found success with? Or do you keep it with the senior, Gabe Stark, running that ball? So they're at 4th and 6 with needing to get the ball right down to around, what is it, the 6-yard line?
I believe that would be right, about the case. Yeah, they're about 4th and mid-sticks here. Maybe 7 to go, 6 to go. So, yeah, it looks like about the 6-yard line is what they're going to have to get down to. And that's a pretty sizable gain, especially when you're talking about not having a whole lot of field to work with.
And if you're Coach Zodi there for the defense, do you bring the pressure? Do you not allow that quarterback to sit back and see his reads if they decide to pass here?
The question becomes right now, can we keep the receivers in front of us on a quick slant? We saw Dyer be able to sneak behind a couple of the corners there.
And they don't need to score here. They just need to get down to the 6.
That's big. we'll see what happens as they line up here to start the fourth quarter. In the pistol is Britton. He will look to fake. Now rolls right. Looking.
He's
Will
going to
tuck,
take it himself.
take inside toward
And
the goal
it looks
line.
like he got down to just inside the 1.
Yes, he
So
did.
he's right at the 1, so that'll be a new set of downs. And Adena will have the ball on. Oh, looks like they moved it back a little bit. So the ball will be on the 2-yard line. And Adena now has a new set of downs to go for it and try to punch it in, make this a 1-score game once again.
So Adena with a chance to draw a little bit closer here early in the fourth quarter. 11:35 now sits on the clock. Plenty of time. And the Warriors looking to score here, hopefully early, to stay in this ball game as they're down 14.
Yep, staying in that pistol formation with Stark and Rollins in the backfield.
Stark to
They
the
get
right.
it to Stark.
They give. He pushes forward. No signal yet. They
And
throw up a hand.
yep,
He's short.
Second down. Good stop there by the McClain defense. Once again, meeting them at the line. But Stark's a big boy. That is a lot of momentum to stop this close in. Number 90 checks in here at the goal line. So Hudson Matthews moves in at the running back position.
He's a senior as well.
So now you got 2 big boys back there.
Looks to be a bruiser.
So this might be a halfback dive with number 90 Matthews with Stark leading up the middle.
They
give it
give
to
to
Stark.
Stark.
Met in the backfield.
Met, pushing, brought down, looks to be shy.
And once again, shy. Oh, my golly, these McClain Tigers are holding strong here inside the 5-yard line. But now that ball is moving closer and closer. Ball on the 2. So they are looking. Oh, looks like they moved it to the 1. So now the ball's on the 1, and you might get a shoe-to-shoe, press the ball in, get behind your lineman, and fall over that line. Remember, they don't have to get all the way in the end zone. The front of that ball has to barely break the end zone. So we have Stark and Rollins in the backfield once again in a strong pistol formation, and McClain's looking to stop them on the goal line.
So
the ball
snap
gets
taken,
and
kept outside with a
and it
chance,
looks
and
like he
he
walks
hops
in.
in. Britton
So-
does a great job there getting past number 12, Caden Penwell, just slipped up and makes his way in for 6 for the Warriors.
So now it is 26-18 as Britton scores there with 9:55 left. That was a great effort by the McClain Tigers to buck up there at the end, but they're unable to keep the Adena Warriors out. So Adena, once again, finds a little bit of life, and that one was a pretty darn good drive, a long drive by the Adena Warriors, sustained. Do you think that this McClain defense could be getting a little tired?
It's a possibility. The question right now is, do they go for 2 as they have so far? And it
I'd
looks
say
like
so.
they will.
So they're looking to make it a 6-point game here.
Pass, jump
Once
pass,
again, right
Dyer,
over the middle.
no one there to defend.
Now, that's something that needs to be addressed. It's got to be a timeout. McClain, this is probably the 3rd, 4th, 5th time that they've been beat right over the middle. And the thing is, it's not that they're only getting beat over the middle. There's no one within 5, 6, 10 yards. So McClain needs to figure out, they need to hang that safety there in the middle maybe, or drop back a linebacker into more of a nickel position. But if Adena is seeing that, they're going to go over and over and over to that middle. So as McClain sits there, it is now 26-20 with McClain leading with 9:55 left. Adena's finding a little bit of life on offense as it looks like McClain is running out of gas. So now it goes back to the keys of the game. Is McClain going to be able to finish this game with the intensity in which they started with? That was a huge 2-point conversion by the Adena Warriors, because now if they score again, the worst that can happen is it's tied. Now they're going for 2 to win the game. Had they not made that, then they would have to go to 2 just to tie the game. So that totally changes your overall strategy, the battle plan that we're talking about. So this next drive is going to be absolutely critical for the McClain Tigers.
McCorder will line up to kick. We saw a kind of a pooch or a onside attempt coming out of half, muffed by Eikenberry, but he will fall back on it.
And that was a very senior move there by Landon Eubanks. It It was muffed by Eikenberry. He falls on it, and a key to it is Landon Eubanks jumping on top of that ball, covering him up just in case there's a pile that ensues, and Landon Eubanks was helping Max Eikenberry protect that ball. So now with this huge drive coming up with 9:53 left, we'll see what Coach Orzotti comes up with to keep that ball in their possession and take a huge chunk of that clock out.
The ball on the close hatch as we look at it. Tigers moving right to left. Allison, the snapper, right under center. Looks to give now.
Counter action.
Counters to Penwell. He is going forward to right around the 35-yard line, so a gain of about 6 on the play.
So gain of 6 on the play. They're marking it at 2nd and 5, it looks like. So the ball was moved up to the 34, 35-yard line. And McClain starts to move it to the edges rather than going right up there with the middle with Mr. Potts.
And you've mentioned already staying on schedule for what you want. Now 2nd down and 5. That's exactly where the Tigers want to be.
That was a straight give to Andrew Potts as he moves forward. Might get the first down. I think they're going to mark him a little bit short.
It's going to be close. Oh, looks like the near
yeah.
official right around the top side of the 0, so that it might be a first down.
And when they walk together, they kind of split the difference. If I'm Coach Orzotti, I'm asking for a measurement here. And they mark him for the first down. No need for a measurement. That white hat has the final say. He takes a look down the line and says they've had enough. And they wind the clock as it moves down to 9 minutes. McLean is ahead 26-20 and marching. Great pickup there by Andrew Potts.
And the big thing about that, not only does it keep the sticks moving, but it also keeps the clock moving for McLean. Even though there's tons of time left, the more that ticks off is a benefit to the Tigers.
And the thing is, if you didn't come into this with a wait till that hand goes up with the play clock, you don't change it now. You keep with the momentum, you keep with the speed in which you're doing it. As is that Andrew Potts there,
Looks
picks
like
up
Potts
3 yards.
Again, gaining about 3. Actually, correction, that's Bartram on the run.
Very good.
Tigers run on the play. Bartram on the run.
So now I just keep looking over here to my right at that clock as it ticks down. So we're at 2nd and 7 for the McLean Tigers. And this is the drive that they're starting to need. They needed a drive where they held on to the ball, and now they've picked up first down, and they're continuing to move. So Braden Wright gets back under center. He receives the snap, gives it to Andrew Potts. Andrew Potts finds a hole, moves it up, and now we're looking at 3rd and 1 after the gain of about 8 yards.
Great job
right there.
by Potts there on that run.
6 yards.
Andrew Potts on the run for the Tigers.
So Andrew Potts is getting himself quite the game. I'd say he's got to be getting pretty close to 100 yards on the evening. Definitely close to 20 carries if he hasn't hit that yet.
And he might be sneaking up toward 25.
Yes.
It's hard to know without having the stats in front of us, but he has been a bruiser. And I think if you're going to have success here as McLean on the season, you have to ride that horse. He is a Clydesdale and will do the work for you if you put the rock in his hands.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And teams will start keying on that. Braden Wright gets the ball.
Pushes
right
ahead.
Center, and it's all about if your front line can move, and it looks like they're moving the sticks. So first down there.
Over the 50.
As they clean up the pile.
Braden Wright pushes ahead on the keeper. Will cross the midfield stripe.
So ball is on the 50 here with a new set of downs for McLean. The ball moves, or the time on the clock is pushing 7 o'clock, or 7 minutes. Holy cow, it's been a long night. 7 minutes left on the clock. This is exactly what McLean needed. They're getting the first downs. They're taking all 3 downs to get there. They're taking their time. They're running plays that they know are successful.
Pitch this time. Penwell coming off the left side, met in the backfield, loss on the play of about 2.
Now, those watching, we saw successful. I get what Coach Orzotti was doing there. The Adena defense is starting to zero in between the tackles. He wanted to pop one out. It was a risky play. It could have paid off well, but they weren't able to set that edge, and it ended up being a negative play, which puts them behind schedule.
And perhaps, maybe looking forward there on that pitch, if you want to set that edge, it might be wise to bring that receiver going toward the run side, maybe in a little bit to crack down on the inside.
That is true. Braden Wright keeps the ball.
Right,
he gets the edge.
He has green grass in front. 30. 20, 15, 10, 5, goal line, touchdown.
That'll be the second one for Braden Wright on the night. Another plus 30-yard run. Braden Wright pulls the ball and runs right into the end zone. His teammates are celebrating. And that is a huge play. Yes, it does help to take time off the clock, but you know what helps even more there, Mr. Weeks?
What's that, Coach?
I imagine scoring touchdowns helps a lot more than taking time off.
We said before.
Great play by the senior.
The yards don't matter unless they end up in points. Well, those yards certainly ended up with 6 for McLean.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Emerson Yates comes out to attempt the field goal.
This kick is big.
Yep, he made his first 2. We'll see what he does on this one.
The last couple have been a little low. We'll see what happens. Good snap, good kick up, and it is through.
There we go. 3 for 5 on the night is Emerson Yates.
The Tigers in a good position here with about halfway left in the fourth quarter, 6:08 on the clock. And we have a ball game where the Tigers have a 2-possession lead, 13 points. That is big because Adena, even though we've seen them be able to score a few here in the second half, is not typically a quick strike offense.
Absolutely. But like you said, they have been able to move the ball through the air, which has been the kryptonite for the McLean defense tonight. They've done a great job outside of a run or two, shoring up the run, but their eyes have been getting in that backfield. So they need to make sure that they're playing their assignments here and watching that pass, because I can almost guarantee you Adena's going to be maybe a run or two, and then they're going to be looking to air it out as that time kick clicks lower.
I would imagine that's going to be the case.
So it looks like there was a little mix-up on what side we are kicking off from. But the good news is we have a crew of officials down there, and they were ready to fix us. So now we have to reverse fields. It might be a strategy by Coach Rich Bivens to make the Adena receiver run from one end of the field to the other. He might be a special teams genius, ladies and gentlemen.
Secret genius.
What a great move on his part.
I tell you, there's so much brain power that he can't have hair on that head.
Amen. Amen. Shout out to Coach Rich Bivens as he is taking over the special teams role, and Emerson Yates is ready to kick the ball off once again.
So Yates will line up this time on the right end of the field, has the ball on the tee, ready to kick. The Tigers slam down on their leg pads. Yates, squib kick, bouncing on the ground, right around the numbers. McCorder with it, works his way up. Good yardage, crosses the 35, and he is brought down about the 37.
If you're an Adena fan watching, that's the start of the drive that you want. A great return there, got him down to the 37-yard line as the Adena Warriors will take over with 6 minutes and 1 second remaining. McClain is up 33-20. First and 10 for Adena Warriors as they look to bring the game back into 1 score range. So we'll see what Coach Zodi has here for this pivotal drive for the McLean defense.
In the pistol once again, strong pistol.
Now, if you look at those DBs, they're about 10 yards off. Give right up the gut to
ball
Stark.
On the turf. No, that's 45. And there's a fumble on the
looks
play.
Like, it looks like they're saying he was down. It will
they
remain.
Will say he is
it
down.
will remain with the Adena Warriors. But take a look at those cornerbacks. They're sitting. They're in cover 3, deep cover 3. So McLean is aware of the passing situation. But now they got to make sure that they take care of the runner. Now, if that ball gets on the floor again or on the ground again, McLean might end up with it, and that would pretty much put a huge, huge play in McLean's favor.
Britton takes a snap.
There's a fumble and Landon Eubanks lands on it. They tried that quick little, and what they're going to call it, it will not be a fumble. It will be a pass because the quarterback caught it in his hands and bumped it forward to the receiver as he was going. It's a shuffle pass, essentially. So now the question is, did the officials see it that way? From where we were sitting, it looks like it was a direct snap. Did it
looked
not?
to me like it was a direct snap to the running back. I don't think the ball ever touched the quarterback's hands.
But if that ball touched the quarterback's hands and he pushed it forward, that is a shuffle pass, which would make that an incomplete pass.
The question that I have is, does the quarterback have to actually have possession, or does he just have to touch it?
If he touches it and it goes forward, it's a pass.
So the officials will meet.
This is a big call for this game, as it could be McClain's ball on the 40-yard line. It is an incomplete pass. So the ball will remain with the Adena Warriors, as it was a shuffle pass, not a direct snap to the running back. But you can see on the sideline that the McClain Tigers understand the intensity of this game. They knew that that would have been curtains for the Adena Warriors. Now, the job of the ref is to get the correct call, so we're hoping that once we watch some film, that was the correct call, even though we would like to see it in McClain's hands right now.
And the Boo Birds come out on the purple side. Not surprising. Britton will keep as he looked to roll, possibly with a first down, and he will get the first down.
Gets the first down. That's a huge first down.
Big pickup.
Yep, huge first down by Britton there, the senior. Seeing that there's no options ahead of him, decides to scramble, gets it across midfield, and now we're into Tigers territory at the 49-yard line. So it's first down and 10 for the Adena Warriors after a fumble and a questionable pass. Britton picks up the big first down for him.
Britton calling it out now once again from that pistol formation. He'll look to go left, keeps, maybe pitch it toward the end, but no, he will just tuck and run. Bartram with his feet or hands around the feet of the runner there.
Good decision by Britton there on that option play to hold on to the ball. He knew where he was on the field. He knew that there wasn't much room to his left if he was going to pitch it, so he decided to keep the ball and keep it rolling. So Britton has now got the Adena Warriors at the 41-yard line.
And the question here is, can McClain fight off that perceived adversity? And they do a nice job there looking to stop the runner short of the line to gain.
So it looks like there was no gain on that play, and it is 3rd and 2 now. The McClain Tigers need to be careful. I've said it before, their eyes are getting in the backfield. They're watching that run, and this is where you throw something right over the middle. So McClain Tigers, huge 3rd down here. It's an option to the right side.
Right. There are purple shirts.
And
it's going to be close, but I think they're going to call him just short.
Now this will be a definite 4-down territory. They are calling him short. So it is 4th and just a hair to go. So Adena is going to line up with 3 minutes and 45 seconds left. McClain is leading 33-20, but Adena is marching with the ball on the 40-yard line. The time ticks away as the Adena coach, Brian Grigsby over there, takes his time, and it looks like he's going to take a time out. That is a killer. After letting so much time, they let almost 17 seconds walk off that clock, and then you take the timeout. You would like to see the coach be ready, have that play in there. But as we said, this is a new coaching system, a new set of coaches. So that might be a learning situation that once they get back in the locker room, they talk that out. So with 3 minutes and 28 seconds left, it is 4th and 1 with the ball on the McClain 40-yard line. And Adena is in the huddle taking their time, figuring out what they want. Now, if I'm a coach and I'm over there in that situation, I am putting in 2, maybe even 3 plays. We get the first down here by a quick up the gut to Stark. Now we're on the line, and we're looking to make that quick pass over the middle.
And I think that's a good idea because the clock is not your friend if you're the Warriors right
Absolutely.
now.
So you got to be ready. So then you're passing it over the middle. You tell them we're gonna clock it once we get there. We're gonna spike the ball. So Adena is coming out with the ball on the 40-yard line. This is a huge 4th and 1. We'll see what McClain does here, if they bring the house, if they try to meet them up in the backfield. They've done a great job tonight meeting them at the line or behind it. So Adena comes to the line. They're in the strong pistol formation with the wide side of the field being the strong side.
written in the strong pistols, takes the snap, looks to give.
And they stop it.
Ball on the ground.
And
Scoop.
that is Emerson Yates with the ball.
Emerson Yates
Gets the ball across
with it.
the 50.
Recovered by number 24, Emerson Yates for the Tigers. McClain will take over right around the midfield.
So now McClain has the ball just across the 50 with 3 minutes and 21 seconds left. Adena has 2 timeouts. So now we're looking at maybe 1 or 2 first downs, and this game is done. So McClain is in the driver's seat now, looking to see what they can do with it. Adena, that was not, obviously not what we were looking for, but they had that drive going. So that's looking forward. That's something that they can build on. They found their offense when they needed to. Now, here's the thing, though. This game is not done. McClain needs to make sure that they take care of that ball, make sure that they run their stuff, and make sure they're keeping an eye on that clock. Keep an eye on the schedule as well. We're looking for about 3 to 4 yards each play. If they get behind schedule, that's not when they're successful. They need to make sure that they stay on schedule, run what they're running, and look to your workhorses.
And if you are Adena right now, if the Tigers start seeing forward progress on the yard side of things, do we call a timeout right away if you're the Warriors?
You see how this goes, and now you're going to use your timeout. So if Coach Orzodi is looking to run that clock out, he's going to take his time here. He might even call a timeout with 1 or 2 seconds left. Now, oh, nope, they took a quick timeout. See, with that, it put McClain behind schedule. So now it's all about what's going to happen on this play. With taking the timeout there, you now have 1 left. If McClain got a big gain, got a first down, you would still have those 2 timeouts for the next series of downs. Now, if they get a first down, you only have 1 timeout, and they can run a whole lot more of the clock out. Does that make sense?
It very much does. I think possibly calling the timeout there is because getting up from the tackle there, it was a little bit slow, maybe cleats getting hooked up there, and time just ticking off without the ball being set and the play clock running down. And so I think Adena just saying, you know, even though we have them behind schedule, we have to make sure that we preserve as much of this clock as we can, because they handed the ball off with about 3:21, and it's down to 3:06 right now.
Absolutely. And the thing is, I mean, I'm sure Coach Brian Grigsby has his plan in mind, and he is probably much more proficient at the game of football than I am. Obviously, I am up here. I am no longer coaching, so I was doing something wrong.
Well, Coach, we'll just wait. We'll wait for you to get in there for the winter season.
As I wipe the tears from my eyes, this is a great night for McClain. A huge play here. If they can get a big gain here, they can really put the screws to Adena as they look to run that counter to Stone Rock. And does he
going
get the first
forward?
down?
He will pick up the first.
So
and that might just about ice it.
It is very, very close. Now they just need to get probably 3 plays off, get a first down, stay on schedule because it's not completely over. But with this being a 2-score game, that's pretty much it. But no one has started to sing yet. This game is still going, and there's still 3 minutes. A turnover here, they've still got to run the ball. They've still got to play the game. So a turnover is still possible. There is still life in Adena.
Right now, they just got to make sure that they protect the ball and keep pushing the momentum forward as much as they can. You don't have to pick up a first on every single play, but you have to keep moving forward right now for the Tigers.
Luke Doomey's back there in the backfield. He gets the ball.
Both hands on it.
Yep, and just go down. At that point, you got to, and that's something that you learn by playing, learn by coaching. At that point, once you're not getting a first down or you're not getting yards, you just go down. Because the longer you're up, you know someone's coming there to tee you up, and if you get hit hard, you could drop the ball. So once you start feeling that momentum go, you sit down. You just lay down, keep it in bounds. So now Adena has used their last timeout. So Adena's used their last timeout as McClain looks to put this game away. So we're looking at about 35 seconds can be run off the clock each play. You add that, we're looking at 40 seconds of play. Do a little math. Adena at the best will get the ball back with about 40 seconds left to play.
And that's going to be a tough task if you are the Warriors. They have to make sure that if they can, they're stripping the ball away. Maybe scoop and score if they can, but it's looking like right now the Tigers have pretty good odds right now if you're a betting person.
Absolutely. And this, I mean, there's so many ways to do this here. If I'm Coach Orzodi and I want to make sure that it's happening, I let the clock run down after a play here. Now, they do need to get a first down. A first down here would essentially seal it. Long story short, if a first down is achieved, game over.
And the Tigers looking toward that first down marker right now. They will run their way out with the captain of the ship, Braden Wright, once again under center. Luke Doomey as the fullback. Penwell and Stone Rock the wings. Eikenberry to the right, Wise to the left.
Braden Wright
pulls. He will work forward, runs through
now
the tackle, has a blocker. It's not going to matter with the clock because he's going to score again.
That's number 3 for Braden Wright. Now, we talked about Braden Wright being a huge piece of Tigers' success this year. While he hasn't had a great game in the throwing area, I can tell you what, he has lived up to everything we thought he would be on the ground. He's been a great general on the field, knowing when to read, knowing when to keep, and he has that ability against any team that McLean's going to come up against to pull and go, and that's exactly what he's done 3 times tonight.
Braden Wright shows that speed, and he makes sure there is no doubt. There are no what ifs or how will this happen. He makes it happen for the Tigers. Emerson Yates pushes a little left on the kick there.
Yates kicks just wide of the uprights. Our score, McClain 39.
With 2 minutes and 8 seconds left, it looks like McClain will be able to coast into this win. But there's still time on the clock, and if Coach Grigsby over there is ready to keep going, they can get a quick score here. So it's not completely done, but this would be one heck of a game if they're able to come back and make a game of it.
I'm sure we would probably have a few more viewers checking in, but we do say thank you to the viewers that have joined us this evening, both on Facebook and YouTube. Big thanks, and we'll also be mentioning a few of our sponsors here. We've mentioned 4 of them at half, and we're going to go ahead and get a few more now. We say thank you to the Brace Place Orthodontics, located at 2 Commercial Avenue in Washington Courthouse. The Brace Place Orthodontics is proud to be your go-to source for orthodontic needs in Southern Ohio. You can call them at 740-335-2921 or visit them online to find out more. And we say thanks once again to McCarty and Associates. When you need professional architectural, surveying, and engineering services, you can rely on the team at McCarty Associates LLC to meet your needs and exceed your expectations. For over 50 years, they're providing top-quality architectural and engineering designs, project bidding, analysis of energy conservation, construction management, and state-of-the-art surveying services. Fully licensed and insured, they can be reached at 937-393-9971 for more information.
Emerson Yates looks to kick the ball off. He gets a hold of this one, gets it deep.
Good kick, end over end, taken on the right side of the field as we're looking. Now cut back by number 2.
And
good block, has a
moved.
chance. Yates is going to have to be the man to bring him down. Slows him up and just slings him to the turf right around the 33.
And the kicker, the last resort, the last person you want. I mean, Emerson Yates is a linebacker, but usually that's the last person you want making that tackle. So Adena stays alive with a huge return there. Now it's up to the McLean defense to get this shut down and seal the win for the McLean Tigers. We have 1 minute and 53 seconds left. McLean is up 39-20. The ball is on the 32-yard line of the McLean Tigers as Adena looks to get a point here, or get some points here.
So the Warriors with under 2 minutes now, 1:53, and it'll run as soon as the ball is snapped. Tigers looking to get the win here, starting out 1-0 on the season. Britton will take the snap, hands off, met in the backfield, and slowed up an entire Pride.
And the clock keeps running.
I'm meeting him there.
I'm not sure what Coach Grigsby was thinking, not throwing there, but he is the head coach, so he is the one making the calls. As the clock continues to tick down, there's 1 minute 30 left. McLean were able to meet them in the backfield and makes it 2nd and 10.
And the clock runs as the Warriors have no more timeouts. 1:20, now 1:19. we start ticking our way toward the 60-second mark, and you can feel it in the crowd. Student section on their feet.
Absolutely. This is the most alive I've seen the crowd in years. There's a fumble and picked up by the Adena Warriors with 1 minute, 5 seconds left. It looks like this will be a McClain victory after all. With 20 points going up on the board. If you think back, it is that Potts fumble recovery where Adena was able to take it in. And then a couple big plays, but for the most part, the McLean Tigers have been able to shut down this Adena offense on a consistent basis. And if we go back to the beginning key points to the game, I would say that McLean has been very, very steady on defense in stopping the Adena Warriors.
I'm telling you, Coach, your buzz was right on. And we say thanks once again to ABC Honey for sponsoring our Snyder's Buzz for tonight. This time the give to Rawlings. He'll make his way forward. Short gain on the play, not quite back to the original line.
I imagine that'll be it. Coach Grigsby with the Adena Warriors are going to start the season 0-1. And ladies and gentlemen, your McLean Tigers are going to be 1-0 to start the season. Ladies and gentlemen, this could be a special year for the McLean Tigers. If you know someone that did not tune in tonight, make sure the next time we are broadcasting, they're tuning in. As McLean meets the Adena Warriors on the 50-yard line for the post-game handshakes. Great job by Coach Orzotti, great game plan, and a great job sticking to it.
And you can't say enough about both these programs. We've seen Adena for a number of years be very strong, and they were physical up front as well as in the run game tonight. But the Tigers able to put together a kind of a culmination of a lot of those years of youth for McLean, and they are able to get a big victory here tonight. 19-point win for the Tigers as they make their way down the midfield stripe and shake hands with the Warriors. Both teams doing a fantastic job this evening.
Absolutely. So I think that as your Coach Orzotti, you are looking at the game film here. You're building on things. You're shoring up some shortfalls there. But as a whole, this cannot have gone better. As a team, as a program, great first step. Now you got to think they're on a 2-game win streak. They won Week 10 last week, or last year, and now they're 1-0 this year.
That's right. So getting the win to end last year's season that was shortened by a lot of the COVID happenings, and this year they get the first victory on the evening. So congratulations to the Tigers, and the alma mater will play with a few more smiles on this end of the field as the band will sound off for our School of Beauty. McClain. Big win for the Tigers. And Coach, tell us a little bit about how it all happened.
They ran their game. The McLean Tigers came in with a game plan. They were going to run the ball, and run the ball. And that's exactly what they did. They came out with the intensity that you would expect from a high school program moving into football Friday night. Coach Orzotti had them ready to rock and roll. They have great senior leadership. I mean, you're taking a look at Landon Eubanks on defense, Trevor Stonerock on defense, but Braden Wright on offense. It's that senior leadership. The seniors are stepping up where and when they need to. But then you flip it over on the offensive side, and you can't be more excited about the sophomore class that's paired with Braden Wright in that backfield. I mean, you got Andrew Potts, you got Max Eichenberry, you got Caden Penwell, you got athletes in spades that we haven't seen in a while, and they're utilizing them. They're I mean, the word's going to start spreading that they're going to start keying on Potts, and you're going to start seeing maybe airing it out a little bit more, or you're going to start seeing a little more off the edges. So this was a great top-to-bottom win. Offensively, they moved the ball. Defensively, outside of a couple plays, they were able to stop the Adena offense. So great job by the McLean Tigers.
And what was youth last year and inexperience plays to the advantage for the Tigers this year. The freshmen and sophomores and juniors of last year return back on the offensive and defensive side of things, and that experience shines through tonight for McClain as they're able to get a big victory, 39-20 over the Warriors. Stick with us. We're going to have a little bit of post-game action for you here. Looks like the band's going to play, and we'll try to turn them on for you in just a little bit. But while we do, we want to say thank you so much to a couple more of our sponsors for the evening. And those sponsors, once again, we're going to get everybody in here that has paid for a sponsorship. We're doing about 8 a night. But for this evening, we have a couple more sponsors we'd really like to recognize. Thank you so much to Southern Hills Community Bank. They've been serving local communities for over 135 years. Southern Hills Community Bank is proud to be your neighborhood banking solution. With offices located in Highland, Brown, and Adams counties, SHCB now serves those counties and portions of surrounding counties nestled in the rural rolling hills of Southern Ohio. You can visit one of their warm and friendly branch locations today to find out more about Southern Hills Community Bank. And thanks also to the Rusty Keg. After work or after the game, stop in to the Rusty Keg for great food, great drinks, and great service. Located in Washington Courthouse, the Rusty Keg is the place to stop for a good time. See the fine folks at the Rusty Keg tonight. So thank you to those great sponsors.
And if you're watching still, you can see those football players in the back. They're running off the field. They're not running to the locker room. They are running to the victory bell that is located on the other side of the elementary school. What a great tradition that is. Each of these kids now get to ring that bell for the whole town to hear that this was a McLean victory.
And that old bell will ring out very sweet this evening as McClain picks up the win over the Warriors in week 1. So we're excited to stay with you here. We're going to turn it over to the band for just a little bit, and we will be back in just a few seconds. Giving us a little bit of Tiger swag on that. And it looks like they're going to do a little bit more here. They'll bring the Tigrettes forward. I think going to feature them with what they hit on halftime a little bit earlier, perhaps. If you didn't stick around with us for halftime, great halftime performance, not only by the Marching Tigers and Tigrettes, but also by the Marching Warriors of Adena. 2 great bands on display this evening at halftime. And we can't say enough about the bands in this area and the level of talent that surrounds the beautiful rolling hills of southern Ohio. So let's hand it back off to Director Blaine Weddington and the Marching Tigers and Tigerettes. And Coach Orzotti has made his way up to the booth. He's talking to our folks here from the radio station in town, Light 97.5 WVNU here in Greenfield. Doing a great job calling the game through your radio waves. And the band looks like they're going to continue to do a little bit of playing on the field. While they do and get a little groove going, would like to go ahead and mention a few of our other sports that are in action or will be in action coming up. Really the only sport that's actually played a game or a match, I guess, as it would be so far, has been boys and girls golf. They get their season underway very early, trying to make sure they can get as many of those golf matches and rounds in early in the season. The boys starting off very strong. They were 21-9 earlier in the week, and I know that they had another match, but for the life of me, I don't really know how golf scoring works overall. So regardless, Wesley Potts, the senior, firing really well thus far this season, 37-36 in his last two outings, and that's about what I do on the first four holes. So, yeah, he's doing pretty well for himself. Some other key players on the team, we heard of at least one of the names, Seth Wise and Dakota Bartram on the golf course, along with David Edwards and Isaac Carroll. Girls golf is also underway, and they have a very nice team led by senior Shayna Beatty, along with Lady Tiger golfer Carrie Ann Todd and the rest of the crew there. They're firing and swinging the sticks out on the course, and they were at Buckeye Hills earlier this week. Cross country is getting ready to get started. I think this week they have their home opening invitational, and Coach Roble, I know, is super excited to get the season started strong with the McClain Cross Country Invitational taking place at Mitchell's Park this upcoming Wednesday. Volleyball had a scrimmage earlier this week that got canceled, and so they have not been in actual matches, but they will be underway right about, I would say, well, close to 12 hours from now. They'll be taking part in the Spike and Dig tournament over in Hillsboro Saturday the event to start at 9, and it sounds like McClain is slated right now to start at 10 p.m. They'll also be traveling to Western Brown when they make their way back to school on Monday, so they have an away match, and they will host their first match at home in the McLean Gymnasium as they will take on Peebles on Thursday of next week. Soccer getting underway tomorrow as well. So football, the beautiful game as they call it, the boys and the girls side of things will get on the bus and head to take on the Braves of Logan Elm. Boys coming off a big season last year with great standing in the FAC, looking to capitalize on that success. And the ladies on the turf as well, looking to bring back a talented roster, but also replace leading scorer in program history, Kerrigan Pollard. So a tall task nonetheless, but I know that Coach Carmen will be up to it, and Coach McNeil on the boys' side looking for a big year for the Tigers. So we're excited to get Coach Orzotti here with us in just a second. Looks like he's finished up his duties with Light 97.5. We'll hand him a headset in just a second here, but we're very excited to have him up here in the booth. We'll get him hooked up and talk to him in just a moment. All right, so we're getting Coach Orzotti hooked up here. And, Coach, we welcome you in. Big night for the Tigers, starting off the season the way you want to in the win column, 1-0 after a win by your Tigers, 39-20 against Adena. Tell us your thoughts on the victory tonight.
I'm just, really excited for our kids and proud of them. They had something to prove tonight, and they were able to get that done. This is not, people were saying this wasn't going to be, maybe a good Adena team. They lost a lot, but that's not the case. When we watched the film, when we scouted these guys, they have dudes. They have, and you saw that tonight. They made plays, and they have some really good-looking football players. Again, I'm just initial thoughts. I'm just really happy for our kids. It's great to be. 1-0. It's great to be have a 2-game home win streak. Things like that. It feels good, and this group deserves it.
I think that's a great way to put it. And as you mentioned before, Adena, a lot of folks thinking, well, they lost a lot, but I can tell you from what we've seen in the past, they're always going to come physical. We saw that tonight. A lot of bruisers in the backfield, and they made it happen when they needed to, but the Tigers able to edge things out
our
on the
defense
scoreboard.
Played phenomenal tonight. They really did. They really stopped the run. We had some breakdowns in defensive coverage, and that accounted for some of their plays. Our front seven really stuffed the run really well, and got to the ball, got off blocks, and I'm really happy with those guys and their efforts tonight. They really brought it.
Big contributions in the backfield from really your entire stable, but the workhorse Andrew Potts doing a great job keeping the legs turning, gets into the end zone a couple times, and so does your captain of the ship, number 2, Braden Wright, ends up in the end zone for, I guess it's not quite the sport for it, but for a hat trick, getting 3 scores on the night on the ground. What can you say about having a backfield that you can go to with Wright or Potts or any of the other folks like Stone Rock or Penwell and kind of get what you want sometimes there?
Well, I'd like to start with Stone Rock and Penwell, and we have other guys, there that rotate in, and we need to do a better job with that, getting those guys in. But, Trevor and Caden, they do a lot of they do a lot of lead blocking. I'll leave it at that. And,
yes.
And those guys willingly do it. They get nasty with it. They're physical, and then it's great to throw them a bone from time to time and get those guys rolling on the counter. And they had some key runs for us, really, that helped our rhythm in the first half, but also there to ice the game. Trevor had a nice 10 or 12 yard run for us. He had 2 hands on the ball, just doing what his senior leader captain does. And then Andrew and Braden, those guys are they're special. They're special football players. They're talented. Andrew's only a sophomore. He plays defensive line. He's a beast. He's got speed. He breaks tackles. He's hard to bring down. He fits our attack really, really well. He's going to be a guy that we continue to feed. And then, you saw the playmaking ability of Braden. When he pulls the ball and gets to the perimeter, he's out. It's a track meet, and he's hard to catch. And if you can't hit or tackle somebody, you can't catch. So when he's rolling downhill, it can be a big one for us.
Well,
and he had some long runs for us, and you saw his talent on display tonight.
Well, and with you mentioned once he gets to the edge as a track meet, I know that you're in the track program as well, at least on the girls' side of things. Braden Wright, a 400-meter league champion. You can definitely tell that speed is on display. When he sees that green carpet in front of him, he is going to run and run and run until you tell him to stop.
And one thing I'm seeing more out of him this year is his patience, and he's setting up blocks, and and that's a big step for him, and it pays dividends. He's scoring when he gets out. We got a chance to score.
A couple of the unsung heroes that would kind of like to mention, especially coming in here on the defensive side of the ball, and even really on the offensive side. Your line seemed like they played very well tonight. Luke Doomey seemed like he was getting penetration into the backfield off his nose guard position.
Yes,
we saw a lot of good stuff. Couple times out of Michael Stevenson, Isaac Smith doing a great job. Blocking as well. We saw Jaden Allison getting out there from his center position. I think your line looks a lot stronger this year than maybe what we've seen in the past.
Well, they're very athletic. Michael Stevenson, Ike Smith, Cade Sponsel has been a running back in the past. He was a running back last year. He moved down, and he on a lot of those plays, he was making some key blocks. And same with our tackles. Ike and Michael, and then Jaden and Rocky. Those guys hold it down in the middle, and we needed that this week. I was concerned about their ability to bring it, but Jaden, Sponsel, and Jeffers, Rocky, they did a really, really, really nice job tonight. Really proud of them. I'm excited to look at the film and see it all, but I was really, really happy with our team and. The way we ran the ball. When you can run the ball, you can eat up some clock, limit possessions. It gives you a chance, and we did a really nice job executing tonight.
Rising to the occasion there when needed. And, Coach, we'll let you go in just a second, but tell us real quick, going into the half, we saw Adena get a score with just about a minute or so, maybe slightly under to go. And, I was really impressed being up here, and Coach Snyder as well being up here, seeing the response to that adversity. The team came back and was able to get what seemed like a miraculous, nice little tip drill catch by Seth Wise in the end zone as time expired in the second quarter going into the locker room. Tell us what that meant for your team.
It was huge. We decided to kind of push the issue and see with guys like Seth and Max on the perimeter, we feel like we always have a chance. To get a jump ball or to make a play in one-on-one coverage, and they were giving us that, the big thing was we were able to put a drive together, and at that point in the game, you might want to say, hey, let's take a knee and take it into the half. We got the lead. They've got some momentum. We don't want anything catastrophic to happen, but I'm glad our kids were confident and ready to execute, and we pushed the pedal a little bit, and we got in position to get that tip drill, Hail Mary, in, if you will, and it was a huge play for us. We earned it. That was something that we went down the field. We got in position for that. In the first half there, they scored on defense against us. So at halftime we really challenged the guys. We were pretty excited, and understandably so. We challenged them, say, hey, you got another half. We got to keep playing, and they were able to respond and get that done. With every piece of adversity we had, we were able to counter that with another big play or score of our own. That was huge for us.
Well, Coach, we say thank you once again for joining us up here in the booth. Next week, you jump on the bus for your first away trip of the season, and that's going to be a big one for you. Still in out-of-conference or non-conference play, but a chance to go 2-0 to start the year. That has to be exciting for you.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely exciting for us. We get to play down in Northwest. They've got a beautiful new facility. They're one of the better teams in Southern Ohio in that area, in that league. So we're excited. We're looking forward to the opportunity, it's another chance for us to make a statement.
Well, congratulations once again on the win tonight, Coach. And as promised, stop on out. We'll throw some ribs on the smoker now that you got a victory here this evening. So
Okay.
yeah, hop on over to the house. We'll fire up the meat machine.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Coach, so much. Appreciate it. So once again, your final this evening, McLean getting the victory 39-20 over the Warriors. Week 1, 1-0. The best way to start the season with a victory. Coach Snyder joins us once again for just a few more parting words. We say thanks to Coach Orzodi as he works his way out of the press box and back down to the locker room to give some big props to all the guys that were wearing the purple and gold tonight and suiting up for McLean. Coach, any thoughts before we make our way out of the booth and to the house?
Nothing better than, you can't ask for a better start than 1-0. I mean, literally, there's no better way to start the season than 1-0. So congratulations to Coach Orzodi. Congratulations to those players. Congratulations to the coaching staff. It is a great way to start this school year. This is our first Friday of the school year. So everybody's behind this football team, and we're ready to rock and roll.
It is a big thing, not only for the program, but as you mentioned, for the school and for the entire community. I'm sure that the Greenfield area is going to be buzzing all week long.
We didn't work enough of those in.
I don't think we did. Well, thanks so much, Coach. We appreciate you jumping in here on the call. We couldn't have done it without you. We also couldn't have done it without our man, Mr. Brad Rowland, pushing all the buttons.
The true legend.
He is making it happen, and our camera work up top. We say thank you to Jackie Rake and all the fine folks, Mr. Drew Hamilton in TV and radio, making sure we had some of the equipment that we needed there. Just an all-around big-time performance from some big-time key players, and we cannot say enough about the folks that made this happen, and we cannot say enough thanks to you that joined us here on this live stream here on Facebook and YouTube. We will be back for our homecoming game, so that will be against Washington Courthouse. There's a couple other games that we will not be broadcasting. We will not broadcast the next home game against East Clinton, nor will we we're looking right now at possibly not broadcasting Miami Trace, but we'll see, just to allow folks to be able to enjoy sitting back in the stands and being in the stadium. We think that's a big thing. But please leave us a like if you would. Leave us a comment. Let us know if you enjoyed the stream. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, and as always, go Tigers.